Chris, it's been a long time since you've been here.
It has been.
How long has it been? Like 3-4 weeks? I don't even know.
I think so. It was. Oh gosh, it's been a while. It's probably
been a while.
It's been a month. I've been around the world. So
Yeah.
So you got your Dixon flannel on?
I do, bro.
You know, I know a guy that's super.
I have a lot of these actually. Well, most of them are too big for me now. What size does your buddy wear? I might.
I can ask him
because I've got some of the older ones. Like they do limited runs. They're all themed somehow.
Yeah.
Kelly and I got matching ones to wear to Jelly Roll because I'm a fucking idiot. And I let her pick it. That's why I'm wearing a white and pink and.
What was she
shirt.
protesting?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said you let her pick it.
Yeah, so she was protesting. I don't know.
Yes, get him.
Just pick.
Get him, Bobby.
She just went to DC and just said, "Oh, I'm going to stand with these people and yell about what are we yelling about? Marital rights for plants? Okay, cool. We'll do that."
So how's your nerd weeks been?
Hold on, I need to slow down here. I just watched something happen. Joey just poured a Fairlife protein shake into his coffee.
Yeah.
Which
I do that all the time.
Is a great idea. I've never done it before.
Joey, would you do me a favor?
Yeah, yup.
Flip that little screen closed on that camera just so
You afraid?
sometimes it won't shut off completely.
Got hackers hacking.
Definitely on.
Cool.
Hackers be hacking, man.
Hackers do be hacking.
Yep.
So I'm sure you have a lot to tell us.
Oh man, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. Let's see. So I believe the first event of note that happened after the last time we recorded was the Halloween party here.
Yes.
And as I planned and predicted, I won everything I could.
You did.
Between my wife and I.
You did.
I was Dr. Frankenfurter from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and boy, did I have a good time that night.
You were in rare form.
I was in. You know what I had to tell myself? It's just a wrestling gimmick. And the most fun wrestling gimmicks are when you get to do whatever you want. I had such a blast, man. And everybody was so.
I was telling Joey it might have been the best one. It might have been the best Halloween party.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, I was wearing. So there's a picture, Bobby, of us together, and you come up to my armpit in that picture because I've got on those crazy 4 or 5 inch heels, which I wore those for like 2 hours around the house, and I'd worn them one time before, so I'd worn them for like 2 hours, and I thought I did great walking in them. I wasn't nervous. Like, I guess the key to that is you forget.
Yeah.
The only thing I couldn't forget is to duck because it literally my wig was clipping door frame.
Yeah.
So, and you guys had the candles.
Yes.
I've been eyeing them candles since I knew I was done. I'm like, man, am I gonna need
to navigate this?
Is it gonna be like somebody's throwing wrenches at me over here? But I had a great time. Kelly did a great job on my makeup.
Yeah.
I caught the worst headache let me ask you guys this. Do you ever get a fucking headache after you nut?
No, it's usually before.
Neither for me.
Well, it's a thing. I've looked it up.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it actually happened to me like 3 times in a row.
What the hell?
Yeah.
You need to get that checked out.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but maybe I just need to not be so good at some things. I don't know.
So you had a headache that day from nothing?
Well, it had gone away. So Kelly had decided she was going to do my makeup while I was laying down, which I had a headache, so it worked out. Other than she had to have every fucking light in the house.
Beaming onto your face.
So I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
But that outfit was bananas. I had a costume change, which
Yes, you did.
because I told Kelly, I was like, I'm not wearing this all night.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, there's this like perfect.
Back
Yeah.
up.
So had on the surgical
Wardrobe
gown with the
Yeah.
gloves.
It was great.
I remember I walked up to, and forgive me, I don't remember exactly who. There's a couple dresses in their German.
The Bettis.
I walked up to them and said something like, "Oh, Germans, I heard you're into some freaky shit," and I mean that literally. Just dumb shit like that all night. Oh man.
Perfect.
It was nonstop. Like
I didn't
every
give a-
innuendo he would just jump into. It was perfect.
Yeah. I went to Arizona immediately after that. I luckily could. And by the way, that makeup took 2 days to get off.
Wow.
I still had eyeliner. Like I was
That's
afraid
good
I was
makeup.
going to go to Arizona. Went out there for work. I've been out there earlier this year and seen the sights, and it's a really cool vibe out there.
It's hot.
It's hot, but the tacos are worth it. I ate tacos like 5 times in 4 days.
Wow.
They're amazing.
Is that as good as like Taco Bell?
Probably not. I did have one funny story from that. So
They don't keep the same hours.
No, no more mas.
So-
Live mas, bro.
that's right. I've eaten. So side note, I don't have it in my notes, but we're going to talk about it. Taco Bell brought back the Mexi Melt.
What the fuck is that?
It's something they had like in the
It's like
80s.
a patty melt, but
No, it's
Mexican?
it's meat and like pico and cheese, and
Oh,
then
just
and they
like
like
everything?
toast it. I mean, or I think they just put it in like that steamer oven, but you can actually order it grilled, which makes it a lot better.
Wow.
Anyways, I've ate the fuck out of Mexi Melts lately. So when I'm in Arizona, one night, my buddy I was out there with, we decided we wanted to go eat at Hooters.
Okay.
Oh,
So we decided to get an Uber to Hooters because you never know what happens when you're at Hooters. You never know what you might run into. So
Tits for one.
he calls exactly.
I feel like Hooters is pretty tame nowadays.
It is.
Compared to other ones, but it's still like the same.
Well, yeah. I mean,
because there's like that Irish one that's the tilted.
there's
kill.
Tilted Kill. There's Twin Peaks.
Oh, really? I don't even know about that.
Oh, I've been to the Twin Peaks in Jackson, Mississippi. I don't know if you can play that word backwards or not. So we get an Uber, and most of the time when I order an Uber, it's a black or white mid-size SUV or sedan, depending on what you order. This was probably a 2012 Hyundai Santa Fe
Oh, nice.
that desperately needed back shocks or struts because it was bottoming out on everything.
Ugh.
That really needs some back shots too.
There was a middle-aged woman driving. Most of the time when I get in an Uber, either there's nothing going on, or they have some light music or top 40 pop or something. This lady had contemporary Christian music playing at a uncomfortable level where my friend and I had to basically lip read each other.
Oh, wow.
The entire time. And she was singing
Contemporary
along to these songs.
Christian music.
Yeah.
What's
I guess it's like
So it's more of modern.
it's modern music, but it's also safe.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I like.
It's not that it's safe. It's that it's praising the Lord in the in the song. That's what.
Well, no. I know, but
That's what
I think
this is I'm
contemporary
talking.
also means that like
modern. That's what it means. It means
Oh, okay.
it's modern style music with Christian lyrics.
So is it like modern as in like 2024 modern?
Yeah,
or
there's new stuff
1990s
coming out.
Modern? Okay.
There's stuff coming out all the time. Yeah, it's actually pretty.
Stuff.
There was
I did not realize they still make.
there's a
Christian music.
South Park episode about it. I don't know.
Yeah, did you want to go platinum, but he went myrrh?
Yeah, he went myrrh. that exact thing. Yeah, that exact thing. I just thought that was so fucking strange. Just that you're driving in an Uber, you're not in a great car, and you're listening to. Is this your version of spreading the gospel? Because it's kind of weird.
Possibly. Like I can't imagine you get good ratings as the you rate the drivers, right? At the end,
rate. I just want to make that
Yeah,
clear.
with a T.
is that what I said?
It sounded a little weird.
Hey, not in Trump's America.
I was like, not here, Joey.
Hey, listen, we're gonna
I don't know.
protect the women whether they like it or not. So I had made some arrangements for the back end of this trip. I don't want to put somebody's business out there because I don't know how wide it's out there, but someone we know's mother passed away that I'm very close to. And my buddy I was traveling with for work lives in Maine, and that's where everything was going to be. Mm-hmm. So I changed my flight. Cool. I'll just go instead of going home, I'll go to Maine and go to the service and then go back the next day. And I had arranged to stay with my work buddy because he lives right there. Blah, blah, blah. Worked it all out. So we're on the plane to Detroit where we had our connection.
Versus everybody.
Yeah. So he texts me, well, he's up in a different row than I am, and he texts me and says, hey, our friend's house burnt down. What the fuck? And my wife volunteered for them to stay with us, totally forgetting you were coming. I'm like, fuck, okay. I can pivot. So I looked at like where I needed to go versus where he lived, and it was actually like an hour out of the way. I didn't realize he lived that far from the airport. Long story short, I booked a room real quick with points, booked a car real quick. Cool. I land at midnight. I'll grab the car. I'll go to the hotel, and then I'm just right there. We didn't go to Maine.
No.
We spent the night in Detroit. We were on the plane.
On the plane.
We were on the plane. And they started out by saying the Wi-Fi doesn't work. Then they said, apparently in Chicago and Detroit, the people who bring the food that they use on the airplane, it's all some sort of union thing, and it's apparently a complete fiasco. So they had water and snacks. That's it. Water and snacks. Okay, fine, whatever. This is a 2-hour flight. I'm just going to doze off.
2 hours.
You know, I was been at the bar a little bit.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was like, I'm just going to sleep. It's fine. Folks, we got a problem. There's a bulb out underneath the plane that we can't fly without, and they're going to come look at it. Okay.
Not. We're gonna replace this light bulb, but we're gonna come look at it.
How many guys does it take to fix a light bulb?
It gets better. 20 minutes later, folks. Something else is going on. They're going to have to come in the plane and pull some panels up. So we're going to have to deboard.
So the plane is just deteriorating on the runway.
The flight was supposed to leave at 9:30 at night, and this is at 9:45 at this point. Okay, cool. We get off. Worst case scenario here. I'm like, ugh, I don't know if we're going to make it there today. To its credit, the co-pilot came out and addressed a lot of people. And, you know, there was apparently somebody on there that their daughter was getting married the next day. There's a whole bunch of little scenarios. Stories. Yeah. So we're sitting there, and, you know, it's funny because we're talking to these people, and then Delta is constantly updating with texts and, you know, your flight is now at this time. And it went all the way to 12:30.
Oh, shit.
And they started handing out hotel and food vouchers. And I could not even get up there in time for what I needed to do, so I just flew home. Damn, I hadn't changed my flight back. I had to go through a big bunch of hurdles with Delta. I mean, they did it. I just had to talk to like 3 people for them to not charge me $300 to change. Because like I changed the flight up because to do this, and now I can't go to the thing. So, anyways, I have now spent the night in Michigan, and a really, really lousy West. Probably the worst Westin I've ever stayed in.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But
wow.
It was free, but
I remember flying from Japan or to Japan. I don't remember which one. Like one of the flaps didn't work, and they just tied down the other one, and it was like, "Let's go." I'm like, "All right,
yeah,
sure."
Oh,
if you say so.
Well, the other thing you have to worry about is the pilots will time out because they can only work a certain amount of time. Okay. So when I did get on the plane the next morning to go to Baltimore, I ended up sitting next to a pilot that was he was dressed in normal clothes, and I told him about what happened. He said that a lot of those small jets, they actually subcontract that out. So like Republic is a company you'll sometimes see. Like if you book a flight with say Delta or American or whatever, sometimes it'll say partnered with so and so. So that means that they're like, hey, y'all want to fly this leg today or whatever. And he said that happens a lot with those carriers because they just don't have the same support staff. They wouldn't have another crew. Because I asked him, like, is there just a crew that's here ready to go in case shit hits the fan? He's like, yeah, but there's normally one crew. So if this is the 4th fucked up thing that's happened today, sorry, we don't have anybody here. So anyways, yeah, that was a frustrating week.
But it's really a miracle we don't have more plane crashes.
Yeah,
it is.
It seems like that a lot of times you really peek under the hood. Everything's just held together by duct tape.
Yeah, it does seem that way.
Right?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Just Peanut out there working on them.
Peanut. Oh gosh, yeah. Oh, you mean Fulcher's Horse Jail? Transforming troublemaker since 2005. There's a lot of jokes in that. Let's talk about movies on the plane. I watched Kevin Costner made a Western. It's about 3 hours long. It's called Horizon. What the fuck was that?
When did this come out?
It came out, I think, over the summer in the theater.
Oh, it's new.
Yeah,
I was going to say, he used to make Western-like movies.
This is a trilogy. It was beautiful.
First move of the third?
This is the first of 3, supposedly. He's got some Zack Snyder in him, it sounds like. But I enjoy Westerns, don't get me wrong, but this was a very disjointed story. Like, the storytelling it was shot beautifully. It was beautiful. I mean, I was watching it on a fucking airplane screen, but just, I could imagine watching this in IMAX would have been great.
Right.
This is broad, wide visuals out west and everything, and everything like looked right. You didn't see anybody's Rolex on.
right. Starbucks.
Yeah, no Starbucks cups or anything. But I was disappointed in it. I started in another movie that came out recently. It's called Bike Riders. It's got Tom Hardy
I wanted to see that. Not good.
I couldn't finish it.
Really?
Dude. Once again, I was watching it on an airplane.
Wow, that's a bummer. It looked so. The trailer like had me.
I don't know.
What is it about? Bike riding?
It's
like
about
a
motorcycle
biker
gangs
gang
in the 60s.
In the 60s. Like it was.
It's got Tom Hardy in it, and then that kid that played Elvis. I don't know his name.
Yeah.
That good-looking kid. He's in it. I don't know, man. It just didn't. It just didn't do it. I don't know. It's like that
Bummer.
That kind of thing has been done better, right? That's kind of how I felt about it.
Interesting.
And then I watched Borderlands, and it was
why?
fucking awful.
Yeah, you finished that one, but not biker gangs? Oh, bike riders?
Bro, I was running out of things to watch on this plane.
I do want to say the trailer for Bike Riders looked great, but when it like the trailer ended and it was like Bike Riders, I was like, huh.
It's also a horrible,
not the most imaginative
horrible name. Horrible.
I mean, I don't know if it was biker gangs or like Tour de France.
right.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the Super Troopers, like bikers. Of course, I'm such an idiot. And they like they're like supposed to meet incognito at that bar.
Yeah.
And it's like the people come in like in spandex and like helmets, and then there's like these guys in leather jackets, and they're like, "Oh right, bikers." I'm such an idiot.
Oh man. So I guess weekend before last,
How was Borderlands?
it was awful.
You watched the whole
I
thing?
watched the whole thing. I mean, it was.
It's
it
like
was,
shat.
It was
like universally shat
comically-
upon.
It was comically awful.
I remember seeing the trailer and I was like,
Once again, very pretty to look at. Great set
"Is it
design.
really?"
The-
It looked awful to me. Even in the
watched it
trailer.
on. Maybe that's the key. Maybe watching it through the screen of
Tiny screen?
a Delta screen. Some jackasses looking to get their fucking hair shampooed because they're leaned back in my lap. But that's a whole nother.
Yeah.
So we went to a couple parties at the Transforming Robot Convention. Was invited to Bobby's event, and then I had already signed up to go to Sanjay's event. The
I feel like it's kind of
ERC
not
party.
fair that you get to go since you're not a member.
Technically,
No,
I
he is
am.
he is a
I pay
member. Are you?
$1.69 a month. I am a
Very
patron.
specific. It's
It's just so I can listen to Nerd Rage on Monday.
There we go.
and make
It's
sure
100% fair.
I'm okay with it coming out Thursday. So it's my that's how I sample things. So that was a lot of fun going between the two. We found a garage that kind of sat between them, and strangely enough, I'd been to both those venues before.
Yeah.
I'd not been upstairs and where
nor
we were.
I.
That's a great spot.
It's a good spot.
Good find there. Those are hard to find. Sanjay had a pretty nice spot too.
Yeah. The ale house. He was at the ale house.
Y'all both had really good food.
Yeah.
I ate a lot. It looks like yours got done.
Demolished.
Bro, I'm going to tell you this. I'm so fucking proud of you. That is
appreciate that.
amazing that you had that many. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I did not gauge the volume of what that was going to be because I did not know. So when we were driving, is Brian Brink, myself, and Kelly came, which was awesome that she popped her head out. I love that she's being a little more social.
I did. Dressed to the nines as well.
Oh, she's all about it, man. She showed out this weekend too. But back to that. So like, we were just looking through like who all responded to that message you put, and he's like, "There's like 70 people." I'm like, "Holy shit!" And it was wild because it was such a short amount of time, and I probably knew 60% of those people, but I met a whole bunch of people
Same.
that night that I'd never met before.
Same.
So it was a cool experience. I'm really glad we came out, and it was just like me and Brian were talking about. It was just the right amount of time for something like that. And
Yeah.
we're not there for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
So we went to yours, went to Sanjay's, went back to yours, and then hung out in the lobby, and then hit a diner up on the way home. Didn't get home till like 2:00, but it was a fucking blast. It was needed.
Yeah.
It was needed.
Yeah, for sure. We had like, I think we ended up having around 86, 87 people.
I mean, that's
Big count.
fucking great, man.
Yeah,
I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud to be part of what you do here, man.
I appreciate it, man. That's nice of you to say.
You've got a good thing going for sure. You figured it out. You may not realize it, but you fucking figured all this out.
I appreciate it. I actually I did have this weird feeling that night of being proud of myself.
Weird feeling.
Yeah, like
What is this feeling?
just because like exactly just because like I didn't have any help for that, and I could have, but like I obviously Laura would have been like my number one go-to for help, but I'm not sure if she saw the vision like I saw it.
Well, I'll tell you, if in the future this happens and I don't have a trillion other things going on, I can help you because
Well, I appreciate
I've done it a couple times.
So I was like
Mr. Party Planner.
So I went down to when we went down to Comic-Con, I was like, look, I want to walk around and I just want to get business cards and I just want to see what's possible. And she's like, and Laura's like, okay, like, okay,
Whatever.
you know, like, I don't know about this. And like, you know, and then like I sent out emails, you know, to everybody with a little write up of what I wanted to do, which is unlike me. You know what I mean? It's just not my flavor at all. You know, waited for them to respond, got back, and then looked at menus, crunched numbers for food, etc. Tried to keep track on Patreon of the people coming and the numbers, and then at the very end, like more started trickling in, and I was like, man, fuck. So I hit them up and I was like, hey, can we do another tray of this, another tray of this, and you know, like, and then it was there. I think we had like 12 wings and half a thing of fries left.
Yeah.
You know, like it was.
Yeah, I
like,
ate some of them fries at the end.
at the end, people were just taking them out, literally out,
Yeah,
like
just
by
one at a
hand,
time.
out of the tray.
Yeah.
You know, and then I sat around, saw everybody enjoying themselves, talking. I saw different people mingling, meeting.
But
each
isn't that
other.
great to
It
just
was
you
great.
put on something like that, you just sit back and watch.
Yeah.
And just watch what
Yeah.
you know, everything is come together, right?
Yeah, and I was like, man, I was like, you fucking did it. You know, I was like, fucking Laura didn't believe in it. Like, you know, like you fucking did it. You know, and everybody's having a blast. And it was also nice to see Laura cut loose because usually at those sorts of things she's hosting. So
Yeah.
she's like
She-
doing
exactly.
exactly. This she was like running around, taking pictures, meeting people. You know, it was a good fucking vibe.
White girl politicking. That's your Sarah Palin.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, we watched Kelly and I watched Idiocracy.
Yes.
It's I think,
I've seen
I
it.
think it's on YouTube actually.
It has like
it
the
is.
evolution.
Yeah. It's
Poster.
basically a guy gets in like a time capsule and wakes up. Him and a hooker, who's it's Luke Wilson,
Yes.
not Nose, but his brother, and then Maya Rudolph, who actually just got done playing Kamala. Like her Kamala voice, like I can't tell the difference. It's really
Yeah,
good.
on SNL, right? Yeah.
So
Yeah, she's good.
they wake up in, I don't know, it's been 2, 3, 4, it doesn't matter. A lot of years. Basically all the smart people were busy being smart and weren't having kids, and the dumb people kept having kids, and those dumb kids had kids, and now everybody's just a fucking idiot. The president is Terry Crews, and he wears he rides the trike bike into the Congress or whatever it is they're having a meeting, and he hadn't having a shirt. He's got on a Uncle Sam hat and a cape made out of a U.S. flag. Their big dilemma is the crops aren't growing and people are dying, and it's because they're putting Gatorade on the crops.
Because it's got electrolytes.
Right, it's got electrolytes, but
It's got what plants need.
But Luke Wilson's like, why don't you choose water? And they're like, that's stupid. Water's gross. And they put water on the crops, and then he's like, I think he ends up being the president at the end of it or something. But
I mean, that's
been
a
a long
movie
time.
we keep referencing as time goes on
dude,
in
I'm
the
telling
real
you.
world.
I'm telling you.
It's aging well.
It's very, just too well.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
I don't know if you guys heard about this. There's, they're making a movie of everything, right? So they're making there's plans to make a Jenga movie, but they think the whole thing might collapse.
You actually saved me from a worse joke, so I'll take it.
Oh yeah, I heard what you were about to say. That's fine. That's fine. So Legion's Con was this past weekend. So
how was that?
So that's the big Mythic Legions themed con that has become something bigger than that.
It's wild that
It is.
it still blows my mind that they have
I
no
do.
con for off of this one fucking franchise.
Well, so what's
Toy franchise.
what's happened is there's a lot of other creators that make their own toy lines that were there. Bobby Valla was there with his stuff. Sparrow Toys was there with their stuff. There's Brutal Realm was there.
Okay.
He actually wrote into us one time.
Yep.
So they were there. Just a ton of people, and it. We busted our ass. So we have a new doorway and made a little spinner platform that actually sold out of that. We brought. I want to say Kelly said if we sold everything we had, it would have been like $12,000.
Wow.
And so when Brian Brink was here, he's known to be a great muler occasionally.
Yes.
So we packed him to the brim, mostly with the stuff. Mostly with the stuff that we had built for that show we did earlier this year and didn't really sell much. Most of that stuff, and then Kelly and I made 10 of those doors and 10 of the bases. We had a little spinner base in it, rotated around, display your figures. Had a nice modular thing, came apart. And then I also brought like shipping containers and those little office setups we sell, just mainly to fill out the table. It was kind of an afterthought. I'm like, hey, if we have room, we should put this stuff out.
Yeah.
And then I also brought, you guys have been in my shop. It's probably been a while, but I've got those wire racks on the shelf. Well, those are supposed to be drying racks, but it's been Chris's half-ass diorama emporium for the last 4 years. And Kelly had said something to me about it a dozen times. And one day I was just like, you know what? I actually need this fucking space and I don't want this stuff anymore. So I took a bunch of half-done stuff and sold all of it.
Oh yeah, you can start work in progress stuff. Yeah,
yeah. So it was funny because it's a guy named Gene that one of my customers has bought a lot of stuff from me. He comes up and just looking at the table, he's like, I really wish I'd gotten that staircase when you had it. I said, well, you're a pretty handy fella, aren't you? He said, well, yeah. I said, come here, and I showed him. He's like, I'll bring you some money in like 10 minutes. Go ahead and pull it. Boom.
Done deal.
It was crazy. Awesome. It was crazy. We sold all the shipping containers. We sold both of those office sets. We sold like all those spinners. Our best selling item is our floor panels.
Oh, okay.
We had 12 different floors, and I don't know how many total we had back. And they
make a big difference, and it's easy to put anywhere.
Especially in what people love about what we do is it's the 3 minutes, quarter-inch thick.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're using,
take up a whole bunch of space.
Right. So like if you're using, like basically like what you have, even that stuff, right? Yeah. That works great. But if you're using a half-inch or inch foam, you're losing that space, and then you also just have this big chunk of foam at the bottom. I had this other little like Detolf shaped thing that I had, long story short, I was doing a bro deal and it fell through, but I had done it, everything but weather it. It's painted, it's all magnetized, and I had it on the table, and somebody was like, well, how is this? Yeah, it's whatever the price. And I said, it's not finished. They're like, what do you mean? Well, it's not finished to me.
Yeah.
And I was explaining to the guy like dry brush washes and all that. I said, a little bit of dry brush. If you want to hit,
dry brush,
you want to hit me right up. I'm happy to walk you through some techniques and stuff. But it was great. Was
JD there?
So JD and Chan were there as well.
Did he sell the big? He did.
Yep.
That's fucking insane. He's been working on that forever. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't imagine.
It's in someone else's house, or it's in someone else's possession now. Yeah.
I thought that was like his centerpiece. And like he sold it. I almost want to know why. Was it always the intention?
Space issue. I mean, it's just so big and cumbersome, and I probably just want to move on to something else.
Yeah. It was huge. This thing was like the size of this table, multiple stories, like up to a grass top, down dungeons, jails, like.
And I think he had done more to it since the last time I saw it. I didn't remember it being like having a structure on the top.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. But I saw the he had a sign on it, like such and such realty, like outside of the little cabin up on top. And then he put like a sold sticker across it. And I was like, did he really fucking sell this thing?
Yeah, that's it right there. If you want to swipe through.
Oh shit. Yeah.
That's pictures somebody.
Like
took.
I was shocked. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know why. I want to talk to him about it next time I see him. But like, it always seemed like to me like that was his baby, and he let it go. And I'm like, damn. Like, wow.
So we had our same spots we had the year before. We have 2 end cap spots back to back, so we have a whole end cap. And last year we had literally like gotten chalk and drawn out on the driveway the size and how we were going to lay it out. Yeah. This year we just fucking went. The only thing, so I brought my and I'll show you a picture of our booth setup. Brian took some pictures like the morning that we set up, because I never remember to take. I'm just not that guy. Yeah. Right. I just don't take pictures that often. So there's our booth. You want to scroll through that?
Yeah.
Our end cap setup. So the only we brought tables and stuff and our tablecloths, and then we have those wire racks, and those worked out great to put the floors on and stuff.
It looks like a good spot. Is you like in the middle of the room?
So we're up against a wall, but there's a door there
this shit. That one. I miss this shit for like the
offices,
like all that type of stuff. Like,
yeah, I enjoy doing that. Kelly actually builds the majority of those. Like, I think I put on the door handles. Maybe I don't know. She's actually made little jigs for it and everything. But and like we sold out. That was just a one-off thing I did. Mm-hmm. Sold that immediately. We sold out of the cells, which the Horsemen actually had my original one I made for them on display in their room, which there's no reason they would have told me that. But if I'd known that, I might have prepared a little differently.
Right,
Because
right,
had people coming and asking.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's a miss.
So,
really.
so our goal is always to never send Brian home with anything, and we succeeded.
Nice.
with one gentle suitcase shove.
Real quick, talking about like preparing for cons and in terms of selling. Like
Yeah.
I learned something this go round that I was like, fuck, I wasn't thinking. You know what I mean? Like about halfway through Saturday, I had this like I had this series that I'm doing, and I'm getting ready to do another one. I'm in the process of doing another one where it's like these like the celebration of a character, right? So it's got like G1 Prime in the center, the truck is below him, Movie Prime is behind him, there's War Within Prime, there's IDW Prime, there's all these primes around him. And right before lunch on Saturday, I sold out of my Megatron print. That's the same way.
Right.
And I don't ever sell out of prints. Like I always have more than enough prints. Like I buy them overestimating their success,
Little red Corvette.
and then they don't move the way I expect them to move, and I always have more, right? And I'm like, then this lady came in, she's like, I want the Megatron. And I was like, you got it. And I can't find it. I'm like, where the fuck is it? And I found like an empty slot. And I was like, I'm fucking sold out of it. What the fuck? Frank Welker was there.
Oh, pure sign.
Was he having people get?
So people were buying it, having him sign it, and then taking it home.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's great, but I just wasn't thinking
I wouldn't-
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought
about Frank Welker being there. And
It's kind of the same thing, right?
That
Yeah.
makes sense. You would print a
Yeah,
double.
same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a scramble to finish, and you know we have through Shopify we have a POS portal.
Piece
It's
of
just-
shit portal.
Well, point of sale. Either way,
Same thing.
which involves a card reader that I could not fucking find to save my life. Luckily, Amazon had them. It was the expensive version, which it was like $100. But Lord, I'm glad we did that because I'd say 65% of our sales were
Yep,
credit cards.
Same here. We got one of those. We had one of those square things you like plug into the port on your phone.
Yeah.
And we just upgraded to like the pod
The
where you can
Bluetooth,
like tap it.
That's
and
what
everything.
we have too. Yeah.
And same thing. 60% of our sales were done on credit card.
Yeah, I mean cash. I think so. We set up. I said I'm not going to give anybody an excuse. I set up Cash App, Venmo, and we had PayPal, cash, credit cards. It's like there's no way we can't unless you bring me some money from the Netherlands or something.
Crypto? You think crypto?
I might even figure that out. So yeah, sold all my oddball stuff. You know, it was a race to the finish to get done, but I seem to work best under that pressure. And of course, we had to pivot at the last minute on something because I'd prototyped, but I hadn't assembled. And Kelly normally installs the actual door, and I had to cut the frames on every single one of them.
Oh, no.
Which I just set my router up, dropped it down, made me a jig, and just slid them through.
Oh, that's nice.
Which, looking at the way I'd make my other doors, it's like, you dumbass. All I had to do is had to drag that line up another inch, and I'd have been fine. But it's okay. Things you learn. So, lots of people at Legion's Con recognized me or my voice even.
Oh wow, nice.
From here. A couple people. I met a guy named, his name is Chris Kelly, that listens. So shout out to Chris. Commodon came by several times.
Oh no shit.
Super nice guy.
Yeah.
He picked up some Crashbox. Him and his wife. It was nice to see him.
Nice.
And then so I didn't get this dude's name, but this guy was like, "Hey, you on Nerd Rage with Bobby?" I'm like, "Hey, yeah, man, that's me. What's up?" It's like, "Nice to meet you." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I love watching y'all." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And then I just started talking about like podcasts and Patreon,
Right.
and he just kind of glassed over. And long story short, my man didn't realize that we actually had this format. So that's why you'll see in the new top 5. But he's like, "Hey, just go. Where do you listen to stuff?" He's like, "Spotify," or like, "Yeah, chill
Everything.
Spotify, Nerd Rage Radio."
Yeah.
That's us. And he's like, "Well, I got so many hours of driving." I'm like, "There you go.
Catch
You're
up.
locked in, man. There's a lot to catch up. Where should I start?" Well, join
Episode
Patreon.
8.
Join
1 to 7 is
uh,
trash.
Join Patreon at the $10 tier and listen to the recap video. And
Yeah,
then
that's
start.
that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
That's wild.
Yeah,
That was
I
a very well received pod.
I probably had, I don't know, 15 or 20 people like talk to me in some capacity about that knew me from here. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's cool.
It's really cool. It was really cool. I got to talk with Robo from, well, used to be from the Fwoosh. He's not anymore, but he was there. Dan Larson from Toy Galaxy. I got
Nice.
to talk to him. And I met Unparalleled Universe is a YouTube channel, does figure reviews. Wade is the guy who runs it. He was there. He actually did his own Kickstarter for a figure. It's like a kind of a Sasquatch kind of dude. It's like his he's got a character, like it's his character basically. So I picked one of those up from him.
That's cool.
It was really cool. It was great talking to him too, just kind of getting perspective. And whenever I'm talking to these guys that are, we were talking, I was talking to one of them about kind of the levels of fame at these things. Cause poor Robo, like I saw him 4 times over about 6 hours and he was standing in the same place in the lobby because people just kept on coming up and talking to him. So
Yeah.
when he was talking to me, like we were up against the wall and there's like a little alcove thing, like the little thing where they'll pull they'll cut those rooms in half, those ballrooms with like a wall.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
little notch where that was. I was like, well, man, I don't want to keep you. And he's like, nah, man, I'm hiding. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's so strange how big and small the world is at once.
Yep. Agreed.
I watched something else on Netflix. It's called Dumb Money. It's the movie about the GameStop stock.
Oh, I started watching that a similar one somewhere else.
Okay. Well, the one on Netflix is pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's a good narrative. It's not a documentary.
Right, right.
But at the end they show like the real actors and the things. Seth Rogen's in it. He plays some venture capitalist guy.
Yeah.
Who else? There's a couple other named actors. Nothing else they don't come to mind right now. But that was pretty good. I watched some stuff. I finished Uzumaki, and I see spirals everywhere now, and it's horrifying. It did not
It sucks that the animation dropped
animation
off.
did not get any better.
Yeah, no, they dropped the ball on that.
Yeah, I'm still watching the franchise. I really hope the next episode's better because this last one,
Yeah.
it's good, but it's not as good
not-
as it
it's
needs
not-
to be
it-
for an HBO show. We're talking.
have said it better
We're
myself.
talking like FX level, maybe.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Maybe this is let me think. This
AMC.
I'm not going to say Tubi.
AMC.
AMC with a whole lot of cussing.
Yeah.
What We Do in the Shadows has
Uh-huh.
come back.
Oh, is it?
Season. This is the final season supposedly. So we watched episode 6 last night. So I think it's probably they've been doing 10 episode seasons. That show is a fucking riot. Like it's just so ridiculous. Like one of the vampires has made a Frankenstein monster and the vampire's dad's ghost came back trying to steal the Frankenstein body. It's crazy. And
Right.
at the same time, they've lived here forever, but they accidentally set a tapestry on fire and discovered there was a window behind it, and they're spying on their neighbors. Well, it's an Airbnb, but they think they're shapeshifters because it's never the same people.
Wow.
And just comedy ensues. It is great. Before we get to the crossover here, where is it? Mason got a new tattoo.
Oh.
Let me see here. Got a little video action. Yeah. The Chainsaw Man.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah. He found some guy on Instagram, I think in like Gaithersburg or something.
Cool.
It's just some
And it-
rando.
and it says there was a cat too, dude. It's from it's like a manga panel. Here's a better shot of it, but it looks really good.
I didn't know I knew he liked Chainsaw Man. I didn't know he liked Chainsaw Man that much.
Let's change. I mean, he likes cats, so I think that's why. No, I take that back. One of his work buddies had gotten something done by some anime style something from this guy, and then he looked him up and talked to
Yeah,
him.
that's
and-
great.
Very
yeah,
cool.
I think that's what we got him for Christmas. If I'm being honest, hey, that shit ain't cheap. So
No.
The Penguin.
The Penguin.
Holy
Concluded.
shit, dude!
It's done.
The finale is sitting at a 9.7.
Have you watched it? I will tell you, this is the first time in a very, very long time I have stayed up like purposefully to watch something, or either like
Yeah.
those couple weeks I was traveling on Monday mornings, I would watch it. I'd download it and watch it like while I was waiting up.
It was spectacular. It was a spectacular show.
I have no complaints about it, man.
Is it wrapped
was-
up, or is it like hint sort of season 2? Or?
So well,
I'm sure there'll be a season 2 because of how successful it is.
and I also
But
this
building-
arc wrapped
yeah,
up.
it's building the Penguin as actually a villain.
Yeah.
Because in
monster.
in the Batman, he's just kind of a low level. He runs the nightclub, and they have that chase scene and all that. Right. That's really all you get. So you get to watch him transform from kind of that to the fucking man, and the horrible. Lies to everybody. He kills almost everybody, and then his mom. Holy shit, dude! And I know that probably spoke to you in some weird, fucked up ways that I can't comprehend.
It spoke to me even more so because of my events that I've had with her recently.
You didn't go to the.
Oh, wait a minute! I haven't heard about that.
Yeah. So my sister was having a wedding ceremony.
Yeah.
This past weekend in South Carolina, and we were all going down, and my mom was going to be there. And we had just prepared for it. And then she started texting me about a week out, my mom, sending me pictures of the kid again. Right. And I send pictures of Chucky O.
Yeah, I remember.
Yep.
I think and I came over here for Halloween and we had a fucking blast too. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah,
All
that's
of
right.
us
That's
over
right.
there.
That's right. That was a good fucking time.
That was a good time. It was just it was very, very chill, very cut loose evening.
Yeah. I wish we did more of that. Anyway, and and then thought she was texting someone else, but she was texting me. Did I tell you all that?
No.
Tell me that, but
Okay,
he wasn't
so
here.
she started. So this initiated this conversation because she's trying to kind of almost like butter me up in a way, right? Like start contact again, so that when I think in her mind, so that when we saw each other in South Carolina for this wedding, that I could
have a conversation with him.
introduce her to my children.
Oh,
Jaina specifically. That's the one she wants.
Oh, don't say it like that.
I'm telling you. So because she was the first grandchild. Anyway, so she thought she was texting someone else, and she was texting me, and she was like, "Bobby's been texting me randomly." Now, I've only been returning her texts, and she was like, "But that ship has sailed. I don't want that drama in my life. Why, all this kind of shit." So it just gave me like a peek into maybe how she really felt.
And shit she's saying behind your back.
Yeah. So anyway, it made me furious and hurt and all that kind of shit. And we went back and forth with my sister whether or not. Actually, there's a wine and cheese episode that just went up today as we record this on Wednesday, where I really went into the woods of it. Actually, I ended up breaking down on the pod a little bit, but I kept it because I was like, it's fucking genuine. It's a real moment.
Yeah.
But so we didn't go, and there's some of the things that he says at her bedside specifically are like right in the pocket.
Yeah.
Right in the pocket.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry that happened, man. That sucks.
yeah. But anyway, the thing I was telling Joey about this show is this is a show about a villain, but you never really root for him. You don't really root against him. But like all the people in this show are bad people.
Yeah. And you know the whole time, like the lies he's telling, you already know that he's lying. Like it isn't like he's pulling the wool over the viewer's eyes.
So it's just interesting in that way where I feel like like you take like The Sopranos, for instance, right? Like Tony Soprano's a bad guy. He's a bad person to society. But you connect with him in the same ways. You hate these things about him. But there's more to him than that, right? He's a father, he's a husband, like he's a guy that has this past and this family, this mother issues and all this. Like, there's all these human elements that you really connect with. So like, and he's killing other bad people. So it's like, it becomes complicated and you end up rooting for Tony Soprano, right? You never root for the Penguin.
And even if you do, even if you for some reason were, you won't by the end.
It's just like I don't know, something wrong with my brain. Because I can recognize that. Obviously, it's something that's good and compelling, and a lot of people are watching. And I'm just in my mind trying to figure out what would make me want to watch this. I'll keep watching Travesty. Like what would make me want to have this negativity to consume?
I think just because it's a good story. I think for me anyway. Like I'm on here.
I mean, it's not just you. I mean, obviously,
right.
it's a me problem.
I think for me, it's just like I'm chasing good stories, and I've not gotten a lot lot of good stories recently.
Yeah,
I actually want to watch the Batman again.
I do
because
too.
I didn't care for that.
I thought it was all right.
I liked it. I've watched it twice, and I almost just put it on the other day as background noise. But I actually want to sit and watch it with a little more, pay a little more attention to it.
Because because it's in the ether so much that even Crystal was like, maybe we can try and watch it. So like I'll probably try to watch at least one episode. And see, like I'm not sure if she realized what kind of show it is because she's not into like gangster movies.
Well, give the first episode.
Yeah, so like
I think that
we'll
paints the
probably
picture.
give at least one episode a shot and go from there. It's just like hard for me to wrap my head around stuff like that, that genre in general.
I mean, I've been saying forever that there's so many stories they can tell in these universes. You know, like Coruscant Nights, for example. You can tell a lot of stories that may or may not have much to do with
Many stories in one.
while you're there, but
Yep.
you know, like
Some of them you might miss.
I mean,
you might miss out on some of
right?
those little
Exactly,
stories.
you might.
And
Jack's Pavin is still waiting for you down there.
And it's not that like I have
Darth Vader's in the books.
that's always a draw.
Yeah.
It's not that I have to watch hero movies or good guy movies or happy endings. Lots of things I watch don't have happy endings, so to speak.
So to speak.
But
Ironic.
like I like
Want to make banana. The funniest thing I've ever heard about a happy ending is some comedian said he was in a massage parlor and it's just a normal massage, and a woman, it's like this middle-aged woman, comes up to my ear and says, "You want to make banana cry?"
Yeah.
I've said that on here before, but it's so funny.
wild.
yes question mark.
But anyway,
Happy endings in movies, you don't have to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so it's not that. It's not like I need feel good movies or like hero movies or like I'm okay with just stories. But it's just particularly this genre that I don't know why I can't grasp it. Like
Yeah.
most people, right? It's not even like a subculture thing. Like it's a genre that people in general by a vast majority enjoys.
Yeah.
And I myself, I watched like a true crime shit, right? I don't know why I can't get into this, but I'm going to probably try to try at least one episode.
Yeah.
Since
no pressure on my end, but it is
no pressure.
it is a great show.
it's more of a, if nothing else, just like more educational for myself, just to try to understand.
And there's no cliffhanger. It just wraps up the story.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
I'm
I
not
mean, there's
even-
one
I'm
thing
not
at the
even
end,
sure
but it's
make it
kind of
that
what you
far.
expected it to be.
Yeah, I don't
And
know,
I'm glad that's all that was.
Me
I'm
too.
glad.
Me too.
The Batman is not. They don't even mention his name at all.
Nope. They
which,
mentioned,
which I'm sure
It doesn't matter to me.
they
either
say
way.
Wayne something one time.
I don't know.
but-
They mentioned there's a offhanded comment mention of the Riddler.
Yeah, somebody says something
like-
because that's why Crown Point's so fucked
Correct.
up because all the flooding.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see like the water lines on the buildings and shit.
Right.
That's
Wow.
cool. But yeah, the superhero aspect of things in general aren't a draw or a distraction for me.
Yeah.
Or, like I don't have to have.
There's nothing
Yeah.
supernatural at all in this.
Yeah.
It's very grounded.
It's not. Yeah, it's not a draw or a negative for me. It's neither here or there. It's just
Which-
like what the story in general, the genre
Yeah.
is.
So
It's just like how you can't get into horror, right? You just don't like horror, the whole genre. You think it's dumb. So this is one of those things.
that's fair. No, I completely understand. I mean,
and-
casino notwithstanding. Joey.
Yeah, because
Casino-
I love that.
You did love Casino.
Because like
Joey 2.0 loved Casino. Or 1.0 loved Casino.
because you watch a lot of wacky stuff.
Oh, I
and you
watch a
enjoy
ton of
wacky
and
stuff.
I watch wrestling, which is the wackiest of all.
Yeah, but like for you,
Hmm.
like horror is just one of those things that are like are not palatable. So like we all have one of those things.
No, that's completely fair. Completely.
Yeah, I mean, action movies are usually is that
for
thing.
you. Yeah,
Yeah, like you know, the John Wick franchise,
Yeah.
for example, doesn't do anything
It
for
just
you.
doesn't move me.
Yeah,
Although
that-
there's a dog in it.
It's not a
do
draw
like dogs.
or a detraction for you, but also like it's not. Yeah, it's not a draw. If it's there, it's fine. But if it's not, but you can't have a whole movie just about that shit. It's like I don't want to watch a movie with no villains,
Yeah,
but I don't want to watch a movie with just villains. So you don't want to watch a movie with just action.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that what's interesting about this is you never love this character.
But you keep wanting to watch it for
Because
it's like a
this-
train wreck.
No,
It's like a train-
no. It's like that. Like it's like the story.
he's a scoundrel. I
It's,
mean,
it's a good story.
Yeah.
It's just a good story
and-
about people that are monstrous.
So-
about monstrous people.
Colin Farrell is like. I will say when
I actually I hate to keep cutting you off, but I
No, you don't.
I do.
I'm gonna let you finish, but
I actually relate more and almost want to root more for Sophia.
That's what I was about to say. Is so
who's supposed to be kind of the villain.
yeah. So Colin Farrell, obviously, as the Penguin is. I mean, I never remembered it was him. He never slips the accent. I will say when they were doing that interrogation when he was taped down, something was weird, and I think it was because he had the white powder from the explosion all over his face. It just well, the makeup looked a little off.
I think it's also the lighting.
It could have been. It could have been.
It's really dark in there.
But the young lady that plays Sophia, who is a Falcone that becomes Gigante, and they take that directly from the comics.
It would have been a great Catwoman, by the way.
Yeah.
Picture perfect Catwoman.
So actually, you're right.
Good to look at.
Oh yeah, dark hair.
She'd have been number
slim.
one on my humans list in Penguin.
That's right. She absolutely kills this role.
She does.
Absolutely kills it.
She does, and I like. She's the one who like is kind of in this life that's dealt this shitty hand. That's just, but you're a product of that environment. But you kind of like, man, you understand how she got wrapped up in it, and you see that there is some good in her. Like she has a way. She has an exit plan in her mind, right? Penguin is the lowercase p protagonist of the show, just meaning the character that you follow his story, but you actually end up kind of liking. She's a better person. None of them are good people, but she's a better person than he is. You know, and it's fascinating that way.
And part of that is, if you look at it, we basically get her story as a front load. Mm-hmm. And it is, and it.
Yeah, I would give it to her story any way she wanted.
Wait till you hear the other. Wait, Thunder Thief over here. From a storytelling aspect, so you go, it's like Oz and Sophia's stories is like you know hers from the beginning and they tell it, but his you really don't know to the last episode of everything. Like
and they made him
his
more
brothers
interesting
and all that, and
but she.
It's your disease, ma. It's your disease.
But she she has some like heart and soul in her in a way that Penguin doesn't. And it's just, I feel like so many of these movies that do this, right? Like Joker, Hannibal Rising, like you end up victimizing the monster.
you just take the lid right off the monster.
Right. You victimize the monster so that you can have sympathy or empathy in some ways, right? Like Hannibal was this abused person, right? And then he grew up to be this monster. Like, oh, well, I understand because he was this thing. And Joker was like, you know, the falling down psychopath in a way. Like life just kept hitting him over the head until he snapped, right? Penguin's just a bad person. You know, and it's like, but you follow. It's like in a way, I've kind of always wanted to see this. Take comic books out of it. I've always wanted to see the story of a villain that didn't try to victimize him. That just like, no, I'm creating a monster for this franchise. I'm creating someone to hate, not someone to root for.
Yeah.
Like before the movie, Joker was like that, right? In the comic books, he's like that's no.
Yeah, kind of before Killing Joke. Killing Joke is what started to humanize him a bit, where he was doing what he did to help his pregnant wife, and they were going to lose their house and home and all that kind of shit. Like when you humanize them is when you start having empathy, right? And Joker before that, never, right? But then they started to do it. This character here, you don't. This is a monstrous person. Like the mother.
I might be
says,
more okay with that.
The mother even says, like at a certain point, she's like, I raised the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, and
it gave me fucking chills.
And
like,
that the casting for the mother, holy shit, perfect. That lady did such that scene where she breaks down and it's like comes like I know what's happening to me and you can't, dude. That shit hit me pretty hard. You know,
good.
That was
very good,
fucking great. But that's my nerd.
There it is.
Well, that's my nerd quarter. I don't know.
The humanizing of the or the empathizing of the villain is why I have no interest in watching Mufasa.
That's interesting. Yeah, I hear you there. I hear you there.
Like they kind of, from what the synopsis is that
it looks like they're going to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, like that he's the actual.
Well,
chosen one.
This is Lion King.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another live action. Unquote.
Yes, it's a prequel.
That Mufasa's not Scar's brother. He's just he's like adopted.
Mufasa was adopted, and
then
Scar was supposed to be the chosen one to take over the pride, and kind of got passed up. For
the chosen one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm interested in that.
It said that you would destroy the hyenas, not join them.
Oh shit!
Bring the podlands to Satan, not leave them in darkness.
Everything the light touches.
Anyway, what do you got, Joey?
my life has been very boring for podcasting because I don't do much interesting to other people, right? I haven't consumed much stuff. Because when I get into a bag, as always, I stay in that bag. And right now it's been Minecraft lately. So like, unless you're into Minecraft, there's not much I can say to you that's of interest.
Mason and Jen are building a gigantic world right now together.
Yeah, I mean,
Just by themselves.
yeah. Right. Well, it's me, Krista, and one other friend who we started this world with, and somebody else that has joined, who's like an acquaintance and like one of mutual friends, I guess. But I really enjoy it because it's persistent. It's an open world where it's basically endless. There is a limit to this world, Bobby. I don't know how much you know.
So not like Masterpiece record label.
Not like what?
That was no limit.
No limit. Yes, there's a limit, but it might as well be no limit because it's like fucking 3 million fucking blocks square. You would have to try to find the edge of this world, and it's never changes unless you change it. Everything's pre-generated. So you remember you watched Inception, right?
Oh
yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Remember when him and his wife went too deep. They went to the fucking place where it's just fucking nothing.
Yeah.
And they can do whatever. And they were like, we spent years, decades just building this world.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like, right? So like I will never lose this place that me and Krista and a friend and a lot of it's me and Krista just building. And like there are people because I didn't understand Minecraft and the draw of it that much before, but now I do because there are people now who is older who did start building when they were like 5, and they're like, yeah, this is what I've been building for 10 years. This is like my world, and I find that to be, I don't know, not legacy, but I find it to be very intriguing. Of some like it shows where you came from, it shows where you're going, and it's basically unlimited.
Interesting.
So, and just imagine having it's like Lego World and the Lego Movie Will Ferrell was building. If you just have infinite Legos and you just keep building and building and
That's
building.
what I've always said about Minecraft. This is digital Legos.
Exactly, and in 10 years, look at what you've built. You know, so I'm super into it right now, especially with the modding and the putting your own art on own skins on things. Other than that, finally finished watching Culinary Class Wars, which is a Korean show about
Culinary Class Wars.
Yeah, it's like 100 chefs. It's kind of like Saturday Night Physical Wonder.
Oh wait, let me guess.
Yes, let's go.
So they randomly select 5 chefs from Ruth's Chris and 5 chefs from McDonald's, and they put them in a battle royale ring with assorted chef weapons, but none of them are like knives or killing weapons. It's like rolling pins and like, you know, battery weapons.
Holy shit.
And they're locked in for a half an hour, and there can only be one man standing at the end.
And it's whoever
that would be amazing.
It's whoever puts a side of ketchup with the fillet.
Culinary Class War.
Bro, but the funny fucking thing is that doesn't even sound that wild nowadays. Have you seen fucking some of these quote unquote combat sports that are out?
Like
That
what?
shit doesn't hit my
fucking
radar.
inside of a car.
Oh, yeah.
BJJ.
Yeah.
Right, where 2 guys start sitting in the car, seatbelted
shit's
in,
wild.
and they try to fucking Brazilian jiu-jitsu the shit out of each other, and they be like out the windows and shit. I mean, it's real. They're fucking fighting or boxing in a phone booth. You put 2 guys in the red phone booth, and then they start fucking boxing.
Or have you seen the 2-on-1 MMA that
which is
they
fucking
do?
wild. Or the this slap thing, right? That
slap-
actually
the
got
slap
mainstream.
What about Turkish oil wrestling?
Well, that's a real thing.
You slide your hands down each other's pants.
You have to
Oh, yeah.
bowling.
Oh, yeah, Bob.
No, there's no grip. They're greased up.
You
Yeah.
grease
All they're
yourself
wearing
up.
is some like
Leather pants, and you're
Yeah.
in a muddy field.
So you wrestle by you reach your hands down and you grab them by the pussy.
Yeah, I think we've looked at it here
Yeah.
before.
But I mean, that's a real thing. That's like a national sport, I think. But yeah, and the people kicking each other's balls and we have that. Is it Russian bull? Is what we used to call that back in the day? You kick each other in the balls till somebody quit.
Oh, I never played that game, Joe.
I never played that game. That was a joke of it. It's like
Yeah.
52 cars pickup. You don't play that shit.
Kick me in the willy. What was it? Kick me from Beavis and Butthead. You remember like that one teacher was like, "Kick me, in Jimmy."
Yes. So why isn't there a reboot of Beavis and Butthead?
I think they did. They did relaunch.
Yeah,
it.
there's new episodes.
It was
now.
pretty good. They did that whole thing on white privilege. Did you see that, Joey? So they're sitting.
How long
They
ago
went.
was
They
this?
went to college. It was like this year or last year. They
Yeah.
went to college, and like the professor is telling them that like how much they're benefiting from white privilege, and then other people are like going around the classroom.
Oh yes, yes, I remember that. Yeah.
So then they just go to the cafeteria and start taking food, and they're like, "Sorry, we have white privilege." And they're like, "We just found out."
Hey, we were just talking about somehow we referenced the high ground. So the Chinese bootleg subtitles of episode 3. So what does in that scene in episode 3? What does
It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground.
it is finished, Anakin. I have the tall soil.
Yes.
And what does Anakin say in return?
You underestimate my power.
You miscalculate me. There's some other.
You miscalculate me as hard.
There's some other gold ones too. Management trainee Skywalker, they outnumber us greatly. Please submit and share an action plan. Action plan initiates and the lightsaber comes on.
I love translations. But I think this is what you think about culinary class. I'm showing Bobby one of those weird sports. So there's two ladies in a ring with their arms tied behind the back. There's a hoagie or a sub sandwich you were dangling in the ring.
That's fucking
And they're
disgusting.
trying to each take a bite of it. And they are...
I would destroy them at that.
So that's I think that's what you're talking about with culinary class wars.
Wow.
But you would watch that, right?
So
Maybe?
what? So what?
I would not.
Please tell me the show you're talking about isn't.
No, not
Okay.
at all.
I didn't figure.
100% not at all.
No violence
But
on
I just Bobby reminded me of this.
Yeah.
Which is, like I said,
Violence is always the answer.
a lot of people want to participate in fight sports without actually having to fight. Is what it comes down to.
Oh, like wrestling.
Or yeah, well, yeah. I keep getting people sending me shit about cocaine.
Oh yeah. So there's like so Kane the wrestler.
Yeah.
You know, Undertaker's brother.
Kane.
Yeah. So there was a blue Kane on the indie scene, but they put cease and desist, so he had to change.
Because
it to
Kane was
something else.
red and black.
And there's a gay Kane.
Is it
There's
Rainbow Kane?
Yeah, Rainbow Kane. There's a guy named Effie that wrestles that does that. And then there's now, Bobby, there's a cocaine. And
He's
he has
in
a
white
bag
and
of
black.
white powder. He's all white and black. And he like throws a powder in his own face and like he kind of hulks up like Hulk. That's his comeback spot.
And
it's super fucking
and sometimes
popular.
he pulls out a little baggie for his finishing move, and the announcer's like, "Oh, he's got an 8-ball," which is pretty fucking amazing.
Funny stuff. Back to your nerd week.
Yeah, so I watch a lot of videos on Instagram. That's a pastime I have.
Yeah.
Guys, keep sending them to me. I love it. I always give you an emoji. Sometimes I give you a comment, a respond, but I'm telling you, I'm not just I'm just not hand waving you. When you send me some of these reels, when you send me the reels in general, I watch them and I enjoy them. If I give you a smile or laugh emoji, I'm laughing.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes, please send me stuff too. I enjoy it, but sometimes I'll get so backlogged. I'm like,
Yeah, same.
I'm gonna watch the last thing you sent me,
Yep.
and I'm sorry, the past 12.
They gotta sit in time.
Tyler, your horse jail needs more attention than what you're giving it.
I watch it all. I when I'm taking a shit, just
There you
go through them.
I
they're
watch
short.
TikTok a lot.
Yeah, like most of my.
That's my toilet time too.
I say I don't have TikTok. That's the thing. So I don't have this extra.
If you have
thing to
reels, you might as well have TikTok. It's
watch.
literally.
I don't have to go through my own. See, that's the thing. I don't scroll. I don't scroll anymore.
Oh, so-
I don't doom scroll.
So you have your own.
I have feed like specific people, like friends and stuff. I keep up on their stories.
Yeah.
Right. I'll go on Pinterest if I don't want look up like some inspirational Minecraft builds.
Sure.
And otherwise, reels is just like mostly just nerd rage listeners sending me shit.
That's fair. That's fair. No, that's
So
completely
like
fair.
it's being curated to me without me having to do it, because people in general are sending me stuff probably knows enough of who I am to know what I enjoy. I get Gundam stuff, I get anime shit, but Culinary Class Wars is about 100 chefs.
Speaking of which, sorry.
Go ahead.
Reels. I came across a 40K reel recently that I was like, I wonder if Joey's seen this. I may have sent it. I can't remember. Somebody's building like the Emperor's throne.
Oh, remind me after this. I have a 40K question for y'all.
Okay.
yeah.
Somebody's building like an Emperor's throne. It's like the size of this room.
Yes,
all gold.
Yes,
Like it's amazing.
It's impressive, and I guess based off of the John Blanche art from the 80s.
Yeah.
It's fucking
It's great.
But yeah, I'm still haven't been working on any models, but I'm still into the lore, into the world, and looking forward to whatever Henry Cavill is going to put out at some point. Hopefully, the game is doing great. I still haven't gotten it, but I'm going to get it for Black Friday. Space Marines 2.
Yeah.
They're already having like updates and free DLCs and stuff. So
Nice.
I'm interested. But Colonial Class Wars is 100 chefs, 50 of them well known, 50 of them not well known, and they go through a series of contests to whittle them down to the number one top chef to see who it is. And I just finished that. I enjoyed the series a lot, but I haven't tasted any of these. Well, I've tasted the one guy's food, who is actually one of the last two guys in the finals. Succotash, he's the owner of Succotash,
right.
which was my favorite of the show. So like, it's great to see him getting almost number one.
Yeah.
But I don't think the guy who won, spoiler alert, it's not him, and is one of the lesser known chefs, and I don't think he was the best choice in my opinion, even though I've never eaten his food. So it shows how much like context can just become popularity contests like naturally. And I'm just waiting for British Bake Off to finish so I can start. I think they're 4 weeks out from being finishing. I've been keeping track. It's like I don't watch shit till it's over, but that's about it.
There you go.
And I'm gonna binge it as soon as it's probably I'll start binging it the week of the finals.
Is that it?
Yep.
So, shit, I had something I was just gonna add to my Nerdy. What were you? You said something that triggered something for me.
Is it 40K related? Reels related?
No, but what did you have about 40K? What was your question about 40K?
Oh, well, I'm gonna ask you guys after.
Oh, and the
I'm sorry. After,
the show.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So Penguin I already talked about. I went to an abandoned site.
Man, I'm so bad. So sad I missed that. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn it, Bobby.
I know. In the morning after work.
The psych ward.
We should go again and just do like some shots of us.
And it was
Hard shots, so
Yeah.
to speak.
it was
like
cool,
hard
but I got in the process I got the
Album
music
covers.
the music video completely shot.
Yeah, it's great.
out.
Put together.
It's different. It's
Did
different.
you shoot
and I
anything
like the
at
vibe.
TFCon?
Nothing.
I didn't think you did.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's different.
Did you do any B-roll in the party at all? or
No,
put in?
I should have probably just for Patreon. I was gonna do a music video shoot there, but I was looking around. I was like, it's too good of a vibe for this song.
Yeah. Who's angry? Come on inside for like 10 minutes. Put your hoodies on.
Yeah. So yeah, it's shot. I've got it put together. This is the quickest I've ever done one. I
was surprised.
Ever. I
was
just
like, what's that
did
date?
1 day of shooting. We shot in 4 or 5 different locations, and then shot like pickup stuff, and then cut it all. Worked fine. Black and white. Like
Nice.
yeah, I think it's going to be good.
I enjoy it.
And then that was it. Walking around was cool. You know, I love shit like that. I'm just into it. Let's see what else. So, almost got bit by a dog.
Really?
Yeah.
Not yours, obviously.
No, not mine. I would have killed it right then. And been done with it.
On the streets or at work?
At work. So we were going to mop at a house, which is rare for us. But if you got the money, we got the time. And so we went in, and I rang the doorbell. We're supposed to be there at a certain time. Rang the doorbell. No answer. So I was like, my thought, maybe the doorbell isn't working. So let me knock. Had a storm door. Opened the storm door. The suction moved the door back and forth. So I was like, oh, this house isn't locked.
Yeah.
So I knocked on the door loud, and we're supposed to be there. We're paid and everything else. We double checked the address, all that kind of stuff. I tell this story in a lot more detail, which Patreon people will get on December 1st.
All right.
But poke my head in, just crack the door, poke my head in, and the door immediately hits up against something behind it. So I was like, what the fuck? So I reached in, and there's another door behind it, but it's like a bathroom door that sits almost
It's
immediately,
open.
and that
Like
door's
they
open.
Probably use it as a security.
Yeah, like a powder room door, and it's like banging up against. So I reached around through that, and I hear a dog barking, but the dog's barking is not changing its location. So I think they got a dog, and the dog's locked up.
Yeah.
So I reached around my right hand and just closed the door, the bathroom door, and then opened up a little bit more and walked inside, just into the little foyer. Just, hello, mopping. We're here to mop. We're here to clean your floors. Hello. The dog's barking gets immediately louder.
Oh, boy.
And little pulp. And we had a brief moment where we both looked at each other.
You and the dog?
What kind of dog are we talking about?
Oh my God, this motherfucker. Big old pit bull.
Oh, nice.
Clipped ears or no?
Yep.
Clipped. Okay, he knows. Then it's business time.
And I jokingly said on the other podcast that's coming out, I was like, his name is probably Thor or Zeus or Uzi Clip or some shit.
Yeah.
But
or skirt.
and we had a moment of truth where we had to make a decision what we were going to do. In my head, I was like, go for it. I wanted to say, hey, buddy, what you got there? You know? But my supervisor was behind me and he's like, Bobby, get out, Bobby. And I was like, fuck. So I made a run for it and he was on my ass. And I was like, this motherfucker is going to get my leg. And I'm laughing because thrills make me laugh.
Of course.
So I opened up the storm door just a bit and snuck out the side and closed it right behind me and then made it out scot-free. My supervisor is having a heart attack and I am maniacally laughing, unconsolably laughing on the front porch of this home. Anyway, they came down and it all got sorted, but that was something that definitely happened.
I got bit by a dog today. A dirty ass, filthy, stinking dog.
And then
Craig's daddy.
the last thing that I had. Oh, I know what the other thing
Funny
is.
for you. It's like the fucking wooden roller coaster. When you know you can get hurt, that's when.
Yeah. I like a thrill. I have thrill-seeking behavior. It's been a part of my problem my whole life. Anyway, I had a unique father experience. I guess it's ages and phases, as they say, Joey. I am the father of a 16-year-old girl, an 11-year-old girl, and an 8-year-old girl. And I had dinner with a daughter and her boyfriend.
Wow.
Yep. The 11-year-old.
That's what I was about to come to that conclusion.
Yep. Who she's been boyfriend, girlfriend with. So she's in 6th grade now. And they've been boyfriend, girlfriend since 4th grade.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if they're
What does that mean?
holding hands, changing notes, texting. They text.
Being generically nice to each other.
Yeah, being generically nice to each other. She was wearing his hoodie yesterday. That's something I noticed. She said she was cold.
Oh, such a gentleman. Wonder if he has any other hoodies.
Yeah, I know. So he came over and we had dinner. And I talked to him a good bit, and
Is he a ketchup guy?
so I don't know. But he did. I don't know if he was trying to weasel his way into my heart. But we had homemade red sauce and spaghetti and meatballs, right? Low key. And he took a bite, and he's like, "This is the best red sauce I've ever had."
I don't think you understand how few people in the world actually do what you guys do.
Yeah. Cook
Prego, ragu,
And
out of the can.
And I was like, "I'm on to you, you little fucker." But no, he's a nice kid. Yeah, I like him.
Did he come downstairs?
I don't think so. Oh, he may have at the end. Oh, he did. You know why? Because I got to ask him a bunch of questions about movies and all that kind of stuff and everything. And he was like, "Well, I used to like Marvel movies when I was younger." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I grew it, did you?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I started laughing. Then my kids started laughing. And then I think Selena was like, "Let me show you something real quick," and then took him downstairs.
Did he come up? I'm so sorry.
No, but he came up like
Mr. Skullface. I'm so sorry.
I realized I may have made tactical error here.
Might have been a faux pas earlier.
But I like him. He's a sweet little kid, and
That's good.
I like him.
Interesting.
Let's see what else. And then the last thing is just a family story with old Leia. So my wife is looking to buy a new car because we just took it to the shop recently for an oil change, and we have $3,000 worth of repairs to do, and CarMax is offering us $2,500 on a trade-in.
Yeah.
That's it.
So it's CarMax, to be fair.
In the current condition, with knowing it needs the repairs.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Gotcha.
that's the thing.
Well, they run their own tests on it.
Oh, so
they
already
found some additional shit.
Oh.
CarMax did. So anyway, she was like Laura's like, we're talking about cars, blah blah blah. I'm exhausted with the conversation. Like, just get what you want if we can afford it, and let's make it work. So the baby hears it right peripherally, and she's like, which one are we getting rid of? And Laura was like, my car, and she was like, oh, okay. Phew, I thought we were getting rid of the Civic. And I was like, what? She's like, I love the Civic.
Hell yeah.
I love the
But
Civic.
it's so little, probably.
And I was like, oh God. And she was like, yeah, I don't care that we're getting rid of Forda the Explorer.
So she calls it Florida the Explorer. That's funny. So are you guys looking for any like?
Laura
Something
knows.
big.
I think Laura's choosing between 3 things. She showed them to me yesterday. I just chose the one that I preferred aesthetically.
Remember what it
Minivan?
was?
Some kind of
I
minivan?
can't remember.
Is it a SUV again?
Yeah,
I'll
we
tell you-
have to have something.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I drive a lot of different vehicles, rentals, and I tell you, like as far as creature comforts go,
I'll text her and see if she's.
the Dodge stuff, man, they have it down. Like all the bells and whistles and everything. I mean, at the end of the day, everything at this point is going to get you from point A to point B. It's just how comfortable you want to be when you're doing it.
Most things are comfortable.
Do you want heated seats?
like
Do you
the
want cool
worst
seats?
cars
Do you
of
want
today?
massaging seats. Holy shit!
It's fucking better than the best cars.
Oh
of the
man,
90s. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't get a
I
bad
have a-
car.
I have
You
a-
can't get a bad car nowadays.
I have a base model Rogue that honestly, this is the first time I've driven that probably since the last time I came over here. It just sits in my driveway if I'm not going to the airport. And you know, it's got CarPlay for my phones and the air conditioner works and it's got cruise control, but it doesn't have heated seats. It doesn't have cooled seats. It doesn't have the wireless connection for your
Shit, that's
phone.
not necessary.
right.
Well,
but,
so that
but it's
that
nice.
was necessary for me.
What, the wireless?
Like the Bluetooth.
Oh well, yeah. So all cars now you can just plug your phone in and like you have Apple Play or Apple Auto. I don't know. It's called Android Auto on the Androids, but Apple has a CarPlay. I think is what it's called.
I just used the Bluetooth.
it just puts this puts your phone screen on your screen. So you got your map, you got your music, you got your phone, whatever you got like Patreon's loaded.
Right.
If you want to pull it up. So you know all that stuff's super nice.
Yeah.
It just really depends, and you know does the back row completely fold down flat or
So
you know,
ours
all
is
that
really
kind of shit.
Ours is really coming down to utility and money. What can we afford?
Let's just get a van.
What can we afford? What's rated well and what accomplishes all the things that we need to accomplish, which is namely being able to transport the family plus luggage to given vacation destination
Yeah.
is really what it. You know what I mean? Utility wise, and then you got to think about other stuff, right? Like, you know, like 5 of us, right?
Which
But,
is, I'm in the same boat.
You know, which is no problem.
Mid-size SUV.
you know, 5 is no problem,
Yeah.
but it's not 5, is it?
It's 5, and then when you have luggage,
It's well, yes, but even just human being wise, it's 5 until Cody comes to town and we need to go out to lunch.
Right.
It's 5 until my sister's visiting or my
Yep.
niece is visiting and we're going to go out to dinner or, you know, or my sister-in-law's in, we're going to go judge Christmas lights or whatever,
Sure,
whatever
yeah.
the case may be. Right. So it's not really 5, but little stuff like that. Logistics, utility, and price is really the only thing.
I saw something interesting the other day.
In reviews.
They said don't buy a car the first year they make it because they literally are just getting it out and they're going to figure out what's wrong. So the second year is the best year to buy it because what will happen is the third and fourth year, they'll try to find ways to cut back.
Yeah.
So the second year of a model run is the best year to get of that particular model.
I mean,
if
that's
you're
how I feel
looking
about electronics in general.
Yeah.
Computer parts, video games. I always get one generation behind. It's best bang for your buck and works well.
Oh, speaking of cars,
Yeah.
at some point in time, I don't know if I discussed it, Kelly's car took a crap. Shout out to Eric B. Literally got on the phone with me with Volkswagen, and because we had some extended warranty that wasn't showing up in their system, and he talked them through everything
Wow.
with
Wow.
me. Shout out to Eric.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And we normally use the one in Catonsville, it's where we bought it from. Apparently it's a shit show over there. So he got us an appointment at the one in Frederick, and they took great care of us over there.
Wow.
So but the starter went out. And
there's a button?
No, yeah, it wouldn't start anymore.
Yeah.
So the actual physical starter went out.
Oh, okay.
And
So annoyed.
yeah, and part of me is like, it's got everything you buy now. It's got that auto on and off.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've always said, is that not going to destroy the starter constantly? Going dun, dun, dun. I turn it off every fucking time I stop. I hate it. But whatever you buy, we'll probably have it on.
Yeah, undoubtedly so. Undoubtedly so.
My car should be coming.
I hate it also.
You getting a new car?
Yeah, I bought a WRX.
No shit.
It's basically just I was going to get my car again because I just love it so much.
Yeah.
But apparently they don't make this model anymore. They only make it in a hatchback, and I don't want a hatchback, so I just upgraded to WRX. I don't even know what's in it. I know it's got a much bigger center console.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm hoping it does the phone transplant thing where I can just have my phone screen on this big fucking.
Yeah, that's what pretty much everything does.
Yeah, so it's great. So I'm looking forward to getting that shit so I can watch more YouTube while I'm driving.
What's up?
Bad call, Joey.
Not yet. Not so far. So far, so good.
I listen to a lot of YouTube.
I watch intently.
Well, you should definitely make sure you get the lane assist cruise control then, because you can just kind of put your finger on the wheel and cruise home.
I mean, yeah. Cruise control is great now. It's not just cruise control because it has the even let you allow the distance monitoring. So I just put it on the furthest, so I have better reaction time, and I just fucking watch YouTube.
The worst thing about that is if you're cruising along and you're going 75 and you get behind somebody that's doing 60 and you're like either talking with somebody or listening to your radio, and all of a sudden you've been going 60 for fucking 5 miles, and god damn it.
Yeah. So why is my estimated time go so long? Yep.
Yeah, I'll tell you. This might come to you as some surprise. I never use cruise control.
Interesting.
I have control issues. So
Well, that's why it's there. Control.
So I can't give cruise the control. I need to have it myself.
Sorry, Janet.
The good part of the auto sensor is I just put my shit on max. Like I put it at 90, but it's never going at 90 because you're always going to be behind something, right? But I'm always going as fast as I can while being within reasonable speed limit with everybody else.
Yeah, and that's another thing. All the sensors and bells and whistles and all that shit. I can't stand that shit. like I'm backing out of the garage. Sounds like I'm taking on fucking water. You know what I mean? I'm like, we've been hit.
Yeah, so it'll get worse.
It's fucking obnoxious.
But eventually they'll just drive themselves and it'll be fine.
Sure, they're getting close.
And then they'll tell you that you're experiencing an accident. Like
your starter just went out. Please stay in your vehicle.
So we have a few notes. For one, rest in peace, Tony Todd.
Damn, yeah, man, that one.
The Candyman. Legend. You know, thoughts and prayers to
Did he really? I mean, he did some other horror stuff.
He did a lot of horror stuff.
He didn't. That was kind of his bag. He didn't do much outside.
I mean, he started from
like he was
Dawn
in
of the Dead.
Seems like he was in one oddball, like a cameo role as him, not as himself, but everybody knew who he was. But it wasn't in. I don't remember what it was.
Also, he has one movie coming out in January, I think, a horror movie.
Fun.
Yeah.
The guy who did the "You've Got Mail" voice, he died also.
The AOL guy?
Yeah.
What else has he done? Is that it? I mean, he's iconic.
He may have said goodbye.
He said, "Welcome, you've got mail."
I'm sorry.
I would imagine he also said the goodbye.
I set you up with that later.
No, the first thing I ever did customizing anything on the internet like that was I had figured out how to go in and change the voice file. So
replace the voice, yeah.
when it logged on, instead of saying welcome, it said, "I have summoned you here for a purpose." And then when I signed off, it was proceed on your way to oblivion.
That's awesome. A couple trailers we need to watch. I'm going to stop it real quick so we can catch up. Before we get into these trailers, Andor did get a season 2 announcement.
Yes.
Finally.
April, I believe, of next year.
Yeah. Further out than I honestly was anticipating it being, but hey, take your time.
Yeah. So Brave New World.
Yeah, I give a shit. Looks
great.
Yeah, it looks great.
The main thing you got to
The
remember,
trailer was
though,
kind of great.
Yeah, agreed. I like all the political stuff.
It's got
serious.
It definitely has Winter Soldier vibes, like what it shot. But the one thing to remember about any of the stuff with Anthony Mackie is that Clarence parents had a real good marriage.
They did have a real good marriage.
I'm glad they're putting some. I mean, they're going with him as the lead in this. I know it seemed to be that movie's been reshot, and actually apparently they're even doing reshoots
now.
Yeah. I think Esposito said that.
Yeah.
And so Seth Rollins, his WWE guy, he shot some stuff as some sort of snake dude. And well, the rumor is they were cutting it. It was part of the Serpent Society. They were cutting it to do the Esposito stuff, but apparently he's in that trailer in like that. So maybe they left it in. But I'm excited for that.
I think it Bucky looks. And Falcon was one of my.
Oh, that was the best.
It's the best one.
That was the best one
of the Disney Marvel shows.
Yeah.
Did we know why? Forgive me. John Hurt didn't die, did he? Who played Thunderbolt Ross in the other movie?
He may have.
Is that why Harrison? Because it seems odd to me that Harrison Ford would take a role stepping in as someone else.
Yeah,
it just seems odd to me.
Let me see. I guess it's worth
from a casting standpoint. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love
What's his
Harrison
name?
Ford.
John Hurt.
I feel like he did.
John Hurt. Did he pass away?
Yeah, he died in 2017.
Well, that makes sense. Just shaved, no mustache. He looks just like Harrison.
No, like
well, it's cool that you can see Harrison Ford in the Hulk.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. That is so
I don't know why that made me feel good in my soul, but it did. Harrison Ford's so fucking cool, dude. I wish I was cool as Harrison Ford.
So,
ever since you first saw him in Star Wars,
yeah, man, that motherfucker just remains cool all the time,
all the way through, even now.
There was a point in time, like probably when he was making that awful movie with Anne Heche where they were stranded on a desert island. Anyways, he was wearing an earring back then. And it's like, oh,
that was a little uncool.
Look at this. Well, I don't know. It might have been really cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it
And
looks
what's
good.
funny is I'm more excited for
tone.
the political intrigue part of it than I
Same.
am any of the superhero
Same.
shit. The superhero
Same.
shit I'm here for. It looks cool.
That's the sauce.
Yeah.
And that's
it.
the way it should be. The superhero shit should always be the sauce.
Supplements.
Yes.
The story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's why the superhero stuff works. It works because comic books in general, like when they tackle real life, real world scenarios and things, and then introduce this other element into it to make it exciting and fun.
Yeah.
Like Gotham's a fucked up place. Oh, now there's this guy in a bat suit.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's kind
He's
of
also fucked up.
well,
He's
it's
also
also
fucked up,
more fucked up than any of us have ever realized.
Yeah. Then there was Thunderbolts. So that, to me, it looks like an uninteresting show with uninteresting characters.
It
Is it a show or is it a movie?
It's a movie.
Nope. I think it's a movie.
Oh, is it?
I'm pretty sure it's a movie.
Ugh, even worse.
Well, the way they shot that trailer, it's Suicide Squad. I mean, that's what they're going for, that kind of misfit team vibe.
They're not as interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I'm not super. I'm going to watch it. It looks like
We don't
a
even
fun
know who the
romp that
bad
I
guys
can,
are in this.
that can, that,
or are they the bad guys?
that I don't have to use memory space for. Like something I can watch and be like, yep, I watched that.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable for the whatever amount of time and I forgot about it.
I actually got bored watching the trailer. I was like,
It's a very long. It's not even.
It's long.
it's like a first
It felt
look
long.
or whatever,
Yeah,
but
it
it's
is.
really just a long trailer.
yeah.
And then there was What If Season 3.
The vibes are very different than first two seasons.
It looks. Are they trying to pull all of it together?
I guess so.
Okay.
They're all together. Like season 2 ties. Like by the end of it, you realize it's all one
well,
story.
I probably should just sit down and rewatch it all.
I
It's
quite enjoy both season 1 and 2. I like them a lot.
Be 12 hours to watch all 3 seasons or something like that.
Or 6, I
If
don't
that, yeah.
And then so like I don't.
Oh, they're 30-minute. Yeah, there'll be 6. Yeah, it'd be easy to plow.
Yeah, so
I might
I'll
work on
definitely
that
watch
this
it. I'm
week.
interested in watching it, but it feels like I don't know if they have jumped the shark or not.
It didn't move the needle for me. It was just like I was watching a screen with lights and sounds on it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Nice.
So then, right in. So you weren't here last week, Christopher, but I had an idea where, and this hasn't come out. Last week's episode comes out publicly tomorrow. So we haven't got many write-ins.
In which he
yet.
told people to come see you at the show.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
Yeah.
Which is now 2-3 weeks past.
Well, so when time travel gets invented, just remember.
So anyway, someone wrote in, or I had an idea for people to write in and have us talk about movies from the 80s, 90s, and late 70s. But with an extreme political view of today.
Yep.
So we have to judge them off of the kind of politics of today.
Okay.
Pick a side.
I will do my best.
So we did get one, and I'm not actually familiar with this movie. I watched the trailer, but this is from Mike H. He said, "Hey there, Ragers, you put out the call to send a trailer. I don't think I said trailer, but for a movie that wouldn't be made today. That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
The game of telephone. It's funny.
Yeah, what I said was just play just any movie, and then we're going to act like it came out today,
Yep.
but we're going to be pissed about it either from the conservative or liberal side or both.
Gotcha.
This particular piece of cinema isn't from the 70s, 80s, or 90s, but I hope it makes the cut. This one is from 2003. It marks a 10-year reunion of Gary Oldman and Patricia Arquette since True Romance, and I will leave you with that. I hope you enjoy. So he sent me the trailer. It's for a movie called Tiptoes.
Never heard of it.
So I had heard of it, but I had forgotten about it.
Of course, it's a Gary Oldman movie. Of course, you've heard of it.
So he
I'm surprised you haven't watched it.
plays a little person,
Okay.
and he's Matthew McConaughey's brother.
Dude, what's wild is I saw, I don't know where, some clip, they're talking about Matthew McConaughey's in that movie.
Yeah. So anyway, I have my liberal irritation set up, right? You ready?
Okay.
Oh, you can't hire a little person to play the little person. You have to have some able-bodied person to play the little person. You know what I mean? That's that. And I couldn't get a good conservative one.
Let me think.
Oh, wait. Oh, every movie now has got to be about somebody with disabilities or something's not right with them.
There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah, because I have no idea what the movie is about.
You know,
right? Is it?
You can pick mainstream movies.
Yeah, I think that's going to work best with mainstream
Yes,
movies.
movies that.
But I was able to throw those together. So just because we're on this subject, Fungul, who is a guy that I want to meet, he was supposed to come to the convention and he didn't.
Sounds like a He-Man character.
He has it's weird. It's hard to catch a vibe from just write-ins and comments and so on and so forth. But he he seems on the level. But he wrote in and said, "Time Bandits is the shit." I guess we were talking.
Is it a PlayStation game?
And he says, "I wish there
It's a
were."
movie.
Then he says, "I wish there were midgets in every movie made."
That's awful.
And then he said, "P.S. I'm a midget."
Oh, perfect.
That's fantastic.
Well, representation matters.
Everybody has a different point
How
of
do
view.
you feel about Gary Oldman?
Yeah, how do you feel about Gary Oldman? All right, so then we got regular questions. This is from Kenny R. He said, "Hey, Ragers, when I met my wife, she stole my heart with her green eyes and freckles. Personality followed, along with the fact that she put up with me. What are some instantaneous pluses you found in your mate and on others in general? Thanks for a great time together in Baltimore." From Kenny. Oh, so that's a good question about like your significant other. Like, what did you see that immediately grabbed you?
Oh, that's swift high kick and then taking me down.
So she didn't strike you until she struck you.
Well, I mean, I thought she was cute, but then like, because you're in college, right? This is college. It's like PE class basically. People are there, all kinds of people are there to get credits, right? Some people are into it, some people are not. But like, she was like into karate. Like she was like talking about how she watched kung fu movies on her time off, and then she's like high kicking and submitting me and good times.
Oh, how the turntables have turned.
And we were doing this one ab exercise. You lay on the floor, right? And you grab the person's leg,
Yeah,
right? Someone's standing there. You grab the leg and you do leg raises.
right. You try
Right.
not to fart.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then like I'm a very sweaty guy. I ended up dripping sweat on her, and like she just laughed about it. I'm like, oh, hello. And because that's gross.
What about you, Chris?
Big bonus smile.
Yeah, so it's similar here.
So and I mean, she's one of my best friends at the time's sister.
Brother.
So, and apparently I used to buy weed, Bobby, from my now brother-in-law, and come to find out that he got that weed from my not yet wife.
Nice.
So
Oh, really?
I was on my wife's green before I knew it. But no, I mean, and she can cook her ass off, and that was attractive to me, and
Oh yeah, cooking.
personality. Here we are 18 fucking years later. Holy shit.
Yeah. Mine was
14 years.
so I'll tell you, it was three things. It was when I met her, my wife is always that person that looks like that person from that show.
Yeah, she is.
yeah.
She has several doppelgangers.
Yeah. So when we were younger, she really looked like 80s, like prime 80s Kirstie Alley to me, which I found attractive. But she also, it was long, dark hair. And I could tell she had an ass on her. She dressed a little wild back then, and I wasn't crazy about that. But she got that sorted actually pretty quickly.
I mean, it was the 90s. So it was a wild time.
For the time, I wasn't happy with how she dressed, and I was very image forward at that time. So I would think about those things like, how does this person look on my arm?
Things to think about when you're in whatever grade.
Yeah, 10th grade.
One more thing about my wife. It was very obvious she's a hustler like me. Outside of meeting her, and that was something I knew I could ride with.
Anyway, I could tell that my wife had been hurt. I could tell that there was something painful in her when I met her. And that was an allure to me. I wanted to figure it out. I wanted to get to the bottom of it. I wanted to know the story. I wanted to deconstruct it. And that was a big allure for me. And then, she's become a very different person from when I met
Oh,
her.
absolutely. Yeah. I think about that all the time with my wife.
I'm not all that different, but I think. But she, she was kind of an angry at the world person, and
Wow.
yeah, and all that kind of shit, and and now she's kind of like a happier person. She gets in her bullshit every now and then, but she's very
But don't we all?
she's a judgmental person.
And the
which
best thing
which
about my
makes me
wife
laugh.
is she tolerates my bullshit,
yeah.
Yes, I can't believe I still
and I tolerate hers. So
my shit's stupid. But I mean, I think about it often. Actually, something I think about often. It's because of having been alive this long and having had relationships, like French, like all kinds of relationships, and like how people has changed. Like even our relationship with our parents change over time, right? That's
Absolutely,
as we get
yeah.
older. And I just think about like sometimes I miss. I I'm sure you feel the same way about me. Sometimes I miss the older version of people. Not that I don't like them now, but like, and I wouldn't say that because it's probably offensive, right? If I'm like, man, I liked you more back when you were like this. But I do think about it. There are people where I'm like, I think that if I met the person that they are now back then, I might not have liked them.
Yeah, same.
And-
I mean, Adam's one of those people to me.
I mean, obviously, 'cause
You know, like-
you have a falling out.
Yeah,
right?
but even before we had a falling out, I used to say to him, I'd be like, if I met you today, I don't know if I would get along with you.
Yeah.
You know?
So like when you've been with your wife like 86 years.
Yeah.
And
But basically 20.
16,
Yeah.
I've been with mine for 16. It's like, and we're still in love with our significant other, I assume, and we're still with them,
Oh, yeah.
and we still love them, but like they are not the same people. They're just not. So it's weird to. It's like,
What do you miss about the old version?
I don't know. It's not. I mean, I don't know. It's just a different person. It's just we had a different relationship. Of course, like when you have a honeymoon phase, puppy love.
Right.
We were young. Like she was only 19, and I was like 26. Yeah, she like just turned 20.
Dude, you got Jay Diddy over here.
Hey, yo.
But no, and there's much more I love about her now that she did not have any of these characters. She was very blank.
And I think that's the beauty of marriage and is a long term, romance relationship with somebody is like you find new things about that person that they're like, wow, I really love that you've become this person.
Yeah, but it's like you've been in a relationship with multiple people.
I'll tell you, like, there's things I miss about the old version of my wife, and I love the new version, and it's interesting to see her growth, and I appreciate and respect her growth, and all those sorts of things. But like, my wife used to like cut up, like she used to cut up, cut loose, like. She used to like get down,
now she's a mom.
and now
Plus
she's a mom.
the responsibilities.
She's an adult. She has responsibilities. She's grown up, And I sometimes when we're like in party mode and she's still keeping her shit together, I'm like, man, I wish she would let go, like let go one more time. That's something I missed, and I miss. She's a very kind of like positive, hopeful, optimistic person,
not the angry at the world person.
Yeah, and I miss a little. I miss a little bit of that. I miss. I feel
like you need this person.
Yeah. I've needed all of it all the time.
Yeah.
But like she was. I don't want to say more interesting because that's not how I view it. But she had. She thought about things. Like I don't think my wife thinks too much about things anymore. Like I'll be honest, like I
waste of
think,
time dwelling on things.
Well, I think like she's down to like have a good time, hang out, talk shit, bullshit. If I bring up a serious topic, she'll dive in, and I can get it from her. But she used to be a person that thought about the world more and I think now thinking about the world kind of depresses her, and
That's fair.
she chooses not to. And I think that back then she was kind of okay with being depressed and angry and all that, and she chooses not to be that person anymore. So
that's something I missed and don't miss about Krista back then. It's like because she was so young, and also she was very sheltered, so she was like very blank. Everything I introduced to her was new and exciting, and she liked it. And she didn't think too much of things, but she didn't have much thing to think about because like she didn't have much life experience. And now she does, and I can talk to her about more stuff, but also miss just like the blank excitement and not jadedness that we all get as we get older.
but like I think sometimes like when my wife and I would talk about like like why how can people betray other people so easily, and dive into that conversation. And now like we'll have like a long conversation about like organic chicken. And it's like sometimes I miss those other conversations.
Yes. Yeah.
So did you have one, Chris? Did you have any?
Already did.
Okay. I'm making sure. So Cybertruck talk from Jack, the Pumpkin King, says, "What up, my nerds? I'm writing in response to your discussion about the Tesla Cybertruck, where Joey claimed that it resembled a Lamborghini."
I mean, and it's the concept of it. You were saying how it's like unique and different. I'm like, it's a angled box, and they've had the
So
angled
he's
box
getting ready to go sign it.
Yeah.
I work as a car designer, and those in the automotive industry will know that Joey is 100% correct.
Oh, hell yeah.
In fact, during the design process of the Cybertruck, Elon Musk asked the design team in reference to reference the United Nude concept car titled La Rosa's car. Coincidentally, this concept car was generated by a designer who took the digital model of the Lamborghini and continually reduced the polygon count until he was left with an ultra minimal faceted four-sided pyramid. If you Google that concept car, you'll see what I mean. Regardless of the inspiration, the Cybertruck was a wedge-shaped cab forward profile with extremely sheared surfaces. The sort of design language was popular with Italian sports cars of the late 70s. But the
Look at
Cybertruck
me,
definitely.
know what I'm talking about.
But the Cybertruck definitely took it to the next level. Speaking of cars, Joey also mentioned he was looking to buy a blue Subaru WRX
And I did.
STI. This is the
no
iconic
STI
rally
anymore.
car that we all know as Smokescreen from the 2003 Transformers alternator line. We do
Yep.
not all know that.
I knew.
I knew that.
So yeah, another good call, Joey. Might want to skip the wheel well lighting though. That shit is objectively lame.
I ended up not getting it.
Anyway.
I did get the red trim ground effects though.
Anyway, love the pod. You
excited
guys are
to-
entertaining as hell. Always helps to take the sting off my long commute. So thanks.
I do wish there was an STI. I would have shelled out the money for it just because it
It
was
go faster.
no, not that I go fast anyway. And it's not for fucking other people. It's for myself. It's one of those I didn't get. Right, one of those I almost got and didn't get, and it's like iconic from my not childhood, but my younger days.
Yeah.
And but they don't make that STI anymore. I think it's something to do with goddamn
Emissions
liberals
stuff.
and emissions. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I don't care about. Yeah,
You know, so-
I do care about environments and all that good shit.
I missed your Cybertruck conversation, but I did see something yesterday. You know, a lot of people are wrapping them.
Yeah, I've seen them.
It's staining it or something.
Yeah, and that murdered out one that I keep seeing is fucking impressive.
Yeah, I've seen a couple murdered. I saw one that had I swear to God, it just looked like doo-doo brown wrap on.
Yes.
in
Yes.
Georgia, it looked. I see.
Oh, there was one here that's like dark brown.
I saw one when I was in Alabama. It was like that. You know that bright ass green that Dodge uses on their sports cars. It was like that color. But this guy, the thing I seen, he had just like put his company's name on it or something with vinyl, and tried to take them off, and like it's stained the stainless steel.
I don't know if it's just people memeing or whatever, but isn't there been all kinds of? It seems like there's a lot of issues with these things.
Oh, yeah.
This vehicle that is not that fucking great in general.
There's only like, I mean, honestly, I think there's like 5,000 of them out or so. There's not a lot of them out in the world. But to buy a brand new, fully loaded GMC pickup is basically the same price as the Cybertruck. Just doesn't look like that.
I mean-
the coolest one I've seen is somebody polished the whole fucking thing, like mirror polish. So you almost didn't see it. Like it was driving away,
Yeah.
It was,
That's
that
a cool
was really
look.
fucking cool.
So we have a write-in from Astartes Pete.
Hey, what's up?
And so he has a movie to give for the liberal.
Oh,
So
nice.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to have I'm going to say the movie, and then you tell me which one to do first, and I'm going to respond to it. So he says, movie first. I was thinking something violent at first for extreme reactions, but instead I'm offering up Ghostbusters. So go ahead. Tell me which one to do first.
Conservative.
Conservative.
Oh, Winston. Goddamn diversity hire.
Wow.
Of course. Of course.
Oh, I've got the liberal one.
Okay.
Annie Potts should have played a much more pivotal role in that movie. The fact that she did not get a chance to bust any ghosts.
And she has to be a secretary.
Exactly.
Has to be.
has to be.
Roles, gender roles.
That's it.
Oh, and I got another one. Do we not see the metaphor? No one's asking the ghosts for anything. Just immediately get to busting the ghosts.
Yeah, put him in jail.
It's a commentary on police and their over-exercise force.
The knee-jerk response.
If you look at the Palestinian riots in the 70s, it's a mirror image of that movie.
Conservative side. Why can't women be feminine and beautiful? And why does she have to be a nerd? Why does she have to wear glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah, why does she
And
got
be
her tits?
frumpy?
She didn't have her tits out even. Come on, it's the 80s.
All right. And then
I hope nobody clips this shit. We're done. We're done.
Please do.
We're cooked.
all right.
We still haven't gotten canceled. It's been a long time.
And then a question for Joey.
Yo.
Did you get to play the Monster Hunter Wilds demo? And if so, what do you think?
I can't wait. February. We're gonna hunt. Do you play? I guess you play. Hit me up in the lobby. No, I want the pure experience. I'm not into I don't
Teases
want tease. I'm not into being teased.
Okay,
Bobby.
I am.
I'm into being teased if I'm immediately directly after getting teased leads into.
Oh no, you can tease me for weeks. I'm telling you, I'm into it.
No, thank you.
So he says, I appreciate it's an early build, but the combat felt poor to me.
That's it.
It's missing the hit, stop, and feeling
Yes,
of weight that usually
that's
makes
true.
it so satisfying. Hitting a giant monster with a great sword should not feel like cutting jelly.
Yes.
There's time for it to be fixed, but I did find that both unexpected and disappointing. Peace and love.
So I'm going to talk about this because I love Monster Hunter. I don't know, I don't care, but I'm going to talk about it. So I didn't play it,
Okay.
but I have watched a lot of videos on it of people content creators that make Monster Hunter videos that I've watched for years. My friends have played it. I've watched them play it, and yes, the hit stop is definitely a thing. But I think this demo is already a old build. I think they already have a new build in place.
Oh, really?
And I think they definitely do care. Monster Hunter, what is it, studio or whatever, definitely do care about player feedback. And the hit stop is a big complaint overall. Because Monster Hunter has always been a niche franchise.
Mm-hmm.
It's like real popular in a very small population,
Right.
But they keep making them, even though it wasn't a huge moneymaker, because it's just a loved franchise. But now, ever since I think probably Rise and Worlds, really, it's become mainstream. Mm-hmm. So now, I mean,
I'd never heard of it till you talked about it. But
You're
then
like, wait.
once you talked about it, it seemed like I heard about it.
You're like,
a
what do
lot.
they do in that game? I said they hunt monsters. But no, it's definitely a mainstream franchise now, and I think they're moving in a good direction. A lot of the quality of life is better. The persistent world is good. No more zoning, no more mapping. Bigger lobby option is good, and I think some of the combat's been made easier, but more fun. So like. It used to be older games, much like Dark Souls, where like you have to learn the monsters, or you're gonna get carded, you're gonna die. Mm-hmm. But now they've made a lot of options for you that is easier, but more fun in action. So I'm okay with that. I know some people complain about it, but yeah, I'm really really looking forward to it and getting into the world. I just don't know who all I'm gonna play with because the last crew that I was playing with, I'm not really playing with anymore. Mm-hmm. So. We'll see, but I have other friends that play Monster Hunter, and now it's getting big. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the devs changing things according to players' wishes.
All right. So Dreadhawk writes in with a long email.
You want me to read
that
it?
I'm probably not going to read.
Oh, okay.
But he says, I think the movie challenge is not being understood.
Nah.
It's not being understood. It should be a movie that we all know.
Yeah, we're not digging
And
in
we're
the crates
like
here.
Ghostbusters was a great
Yes.
one, right? There's none of that political shit in it,
Ghost-
and we have to find it.
Go to Box Office Mojo and look at the top 50 movies from a year.
But he said Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, Sleepaway Camp, it's a horror movie.
And then he said both sides are the political spectrum, would make the political spectrum's brain explode.
Well, you're not supposed to explain it.
Right. Forced to live as a girl turns into a slasher murder during summer camp.
I'm just going to make a broad statement. I'm not familiar with this movie, but I cannot believe that they have the boys and girls in separate cabins.
Yeah.
Is that I've never seen
They
it.
should have unisex.
I cannot believe they don't have you. That's unheard of that they would make them sleep in separate quarters.
It's unreasonable that there's only two genders of quarters.
There you
go. There
That
it
should
is.
at least be a third one.
Yes.
Or maybe 20.
Yeah. So yeah, it should like for the movie challenge, it should be something that we all know.
And just put movie titles.
Yeah.
Like list 3 movies.
or just one per
Or
person.
one.
But just it should
Or
be like
12.
a fun thing, not like
That should just have been fun and not be picked apart.
Yes.
But now it's going to be.
Todd R writes in and says, "Well, hello there, B and current crew. It's hard to say it today. Who's going to be here? What if birds didn't only have diarrhea?"
What's the biggest bird shit you've ever encountered?
Dude.
Hang on a second. Either on your car or on your person.
So
I've only been shot on once.
I don't know if I remember, but I've never been shit on. But I have a phobia
I have
of it.
twice.
So Laura got shit on when we were in Baltimore at Comic-Con.
What?
Yeah. No. No, because we went down there. We didn't go for Comic-Con when we looked at all the places. We just went down there, the two of us, I guess, on an adventure, and we had Chick-fil-A for lunch, and walking to Chick-fil-A, a fucking bird shat on her.
So I was sitting on the beach one time. I was with a church youth group on a trip, and I got shit on. And then once I was in New York
That's a
City,
sign.
I was in New York City, and I was standing there to buy some food from a food vendor, and a bird shit on me, and I was like, "Oh, this is such good luck for you today," because apparently that's the bird shits on you.
It's being lucky. It's
Yeah.
lucky to get shot on.
Yeah.
I think in Asian culture too, but I think they just make that shit up so you don't feel bad about being shot.
Todd, I'm going to
very
be
lucky.
honest, man. As much as I don't enjoy getting shit on by a bird, I would much rather it be what it is than just a fucking turd falling on me.
Yeah.
Bloop. Could you imagine?
Just-
I mean, and some birds do have.
Just
I think,
bounce off of you.
I think
when
when
it
it
dries
dries it
up-
off or something.
I don't know, man.
But it is weird that they only eat, they can only have diarrhea.
I think because they piss and shit at the same time. They don't piss.
Because if,
It's just like
like
all
when
one
it dries
thing.
out, it's the white shit and then like a lump.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
yeah, it's cloac. I don't know. That's a lizard. I don't know. Birds are weird.
Birds are weird,
They also have like eggs.
And they don't exist.
and they're dinosaurs.
They're just robots.
You ever seen the movie Birdemic? That might be the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Is that a real movie?
Have you seen The
It's a
Glow
real
from the
movie.
TV?
You're talking about
That's the worst movie I've ever seen in my
So
life.
I saw. Is
Worse
that
than The Green Knight.
Is that the
Worse
one?
than The Green Knight.
Is that
Second worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
is that the one where the girl's like kind of telling her story through like a vlog kind of deal? Is that
no.
okay? That's something different. But
This is you just watching the glow from a TV.
I watched
This-
Glow,
This is them
Gorgeous Ladies
Oh,
of
yeah.
Wrestling.
obsessed with a show that kind of got canceled, and they end up like going into the realm of the show, and it's fucking dumb. It's the
Wasn't
dumbest
there-
fucking piece of shit movie.
There was a
I've ever
black and white movie that turned color. What's that?
seen. Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
It was the Wizard of Oz.
I don't think that's what I'm talking about. It's like a movie about a TV, like a TV land. It's all black and white. And
fuck yes,
and things are turning into color.
Pleasantville.
Yeah.
with
That-
Christopher Walken.
That movie's great.
Reese
So you see, I
Witherspoon.
don't know
That
how-
movie's great.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
But hey, video
So
store
it's
manager.
Glow.
I pulled it out of my ass.
That's much
Hell
better.
Back in the
Pleasantville's
movie
much
days.
better.
But it seems sounds like the same premise.
It's
but
not
then worse.
It's not. Yeah, it's not.
You were
at
saying
all.
how he like
Well, they
No.
have Christopher Walken in
Yeah.
Pleasant.
Man Cub.
You know,
I still love that he's the emperor in fucking Dune.
I know. That
Oh,
show
hang
starts.
on.
The
Did
Dune
you-
show
yes.
starts Sunday.
Is it gonna
that looks great.
Does it look? Is it
does
gonna
look
be?
It does look
like
great.
It's about-
a
it's-
cash grab.
No, it's about the.
No,
I
I think
it's about the
if you-
witches or
it's
whatever.
all about this, like the sisters
Is it-
or whatever.
Is it going to be like the books?
No, I couldn't tell you.
Because the movies are supposed to be like the books.
So they're all they're all connected, right?
How do you feel about your man shitting on Dune?
Who shat on it?
Quentin Tarantino. I think he's like,
Oh.
I have no interest in watching remakes, and then the director is like, "That's fine. It's not a remake though. I'm making it off the book, so it's a different."
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Which
that's
is fair.
semantic. I think it's
Different
semantics.
No. It's not
'cause
the
I
same.
I don't
two
think-
different people making two different
So are you
movies
saying-
based on the same book are not. It's not a remake.
Are you saying Quentin Tarantino's not going to watch the Jenga movie? Maybe he should
is that
direct
a remake?
I think
of the game.
I think that Quentin Tarantino is being unfair. I think he's cutting with a very broad sword, right? But I do understand where he's coming from because I am.
Well, I understand the sentiment, but it's kind of
Exactly. I'm exhausted with the same thing. I'm exhausted with the countless, like, here we go again. I don't know if I need a modern version of fucking Point Break.
But if you've watched,
But that's why I chose it
if you-
deliberately.
but if you-
Red Dawn.
Leave It to Beaver. It's the worst remake or Leave It to Beaver.
A-Team?
They redid that one.
No, but
They did.
if you've watched the original Dune, which I have a few times, like you would know that it does need a remake. It's awful.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it doesn't.
To say
I'm
that
saying
you
that
never watched a remake is because that's nothing new to
No,
revisit a world.
that's not what he said either.
I know.
He said that he's not interested in watching any more remakes. Right?
He was just kind of saying a blanket statement.
Yeah, because
Dune.
because he, like most of us, have been bombarded with remakes. Like my answer, if I had Quentin Tarantino across the table from me, I'd be like, "No, this is actually the one you probably should watch."
Yeah,
and I feel you on 98% of the others.
Yeah, because I don't think that would be something I say in general, just because how bad some originals are. Right, even movies without remake. That's just. I'm not saying things that's been already remade was better than the original. I'm saying if you just watch movies in general, you know there are a lot of bad ones that could have been done better.
I wonder if
And maybe deserved better if they were based on good source material. Like what we had the Lord of the Rings cartoon back in 1980. Where the fuck? But you watch the fucking Lord of the Rings movies, right? That's a remake. If you're gonna compare that,
Once again, I don't think he's saying that all remakes are bad. He's saying we're getting so many remakes now that he's bored by the concept.
yeah, I can understand.
And I understand that. I think that this is the one he probably should take a risk on because it's quite good. But if the other two that he just watched were Red Dawn and fucking A-Team and this, I can understand how he'd be like, I'm enough. And if you look at like his body of work, right? Like he's one of these dudes that continues to fucking push and push and push that are like, he has an incredible filmography. Like he's one of these dudes. He's up there with Nolan. Like he's up there with Scorsese. Like he's one of these dudes that if you look at his body of work, there's very few misses, and they're all pretty fucking original ideas. Some are better than others, but
yes,
you know what I mean. But it's like he has like an impressive catalog.
Yeah.
And he's a nut.
yeah.
But
I mean, that's the point, right? He's a nut, so it's fine because he's a fucking nut.
yeah, but I get it. I don't think it's unreasonable. I think it's similar to how you're like, I'm done with comic books because they just keep redoing it. I think that's how he feels about cinema.
I think you're right.
But I think the same way I argue with you about, but sometimes they're good when they redo it. It's the same way I feel about you arguing with him.
I guess it's a matter of time. Not that we're getting into it, but my problems with comic is not the remake. It's the continual remake, and also not even just that. It's the retcon. It's the continual retcon of it. That's more of a problem than the remakes.
It's funny because I tend to find a lot more of the retcon stuff interesting. Like,
well,
especially like Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns retconned a ton about Green Lantern, but made it so much better.
It just becomes really muddied with no solid. Like you can know you like I've said, if you have a friend who tells you a different story about the past all the time, you're like, who are you? It's like, which part of this is real? I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, but I think that's how he feels. It's like he's tired of it, and I think if you were to look at like
I'm also tired of the concept of remake in general.
Right. No, I know. I think we all are. But I think if you were to look at like his body of work and it was like a ton of bullshit, that shit would ring out differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But also, I don't find it surprising.
Like if Peter Jackson said it, I'd be like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
You made Hobbit into 3 movies. Get the fuck out.
You made King Kong, like your career is built off this bullshit. Like not to say that his movies are bad, but just like it's conceptually, you seem like a doof now by saying that. But like Tarantino, if you were making that type of movie that he's making, I can see how you would be like boring when all this shit continues to get remade.
Yeah. Also, nutty people saying nutty things is just normal.
Godzilla, is another one. Like, and it's not to say that this recent one is bad or anything, but like there have been bad ones that are all
there have been so many of them.
You know what I mean? Like, anyway, so I get it. Anyway, shout out to the rest of the Nerve Rage team. Good to have you back, Chris.
Hey, I'm glad to
Are
be
you here next week? Question mark?
Should be pretty.
Oh, wow.
But we might have a couple weeks. I mean, I am traveling some rest of I have one more work trip. They've kind of wrangled us in for work, but we are going. I'm going to
Alabama land.
Nice.
2 weeks worth of Alabama by the end of the year. We're going.
Wow.
Going to We're going to. Well, hang on. We're going to Thanksgiving at my parents' house, which has turned into quite the affair. The amount of people that are coming, which is fine. And then we are going to visit my wife's mom for the first time in
15 years?
10 years for me, maybe
Part of that
longer
process.
than that. I mean, she hasn't seen. Charlie was literally a carry around baby the last time she saw my children.
Wow.
Or spoke to them. So
It's huge.
Yep. So that's two. But rest, other than that, we're going to do our very best between our 3 very messy schedules to make this happen for the rest of the year.
With that being said, hopefully we can get a couple more weeks before you head down. Shout out to the rest of the Nerve Rage team. We got Phil on Twitter in our notes. We got Dante on Facebook. We got Jana on Instagram and Ricky Tiki Timber on the videos. And with that,
Flappy labius.
Tasty tank.
tight dick player.